And there we are, once again. Hopefully that transition didn't crash the stream, because that happens! It didn't do it! Oh, it came back. Okay, so we're fine. Hi guys, we're here to play some Mouse Guard. And I think we have a very special group today for a very special mission. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start things right off. Welcome. We are playing Mouse Guard, this fantastic little role-playing game, all about tiny mice. Tiny mice this big. Mice that live in the wild and hope to thrive with their rather astute knowledge that they've garnered over several years of, you know, peace, prosperity. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration, because in the mouse territories, there's no peace or prosperity. Not when you have predators running around, you have shrikes coming down from the sky, owls haunting the night, and foxes roaming around looking for a little snack. It is not an easy life for mice. But that's where their funny little clever brains come in. We have established sort of this medieval society where different towns and settlements can sort of work together and raise their own crops, raise their own crafts, as well as build up the Mouse Guard, which is this faction of mice who travel throughout the territories and just make sure life is good, life is safe, making sure to drive off predators and protect any little mouse that needs help. And we have 4 Mouse Guard here today. You guys have all been drawn to Tapper's Point, which is not a town yet. It is an outpost of the Mouse Guard beyond the scent border, which, if you don't know, the scent border is sort of this imaginary line that is sort of... It's sort of like... oh my goodness, I describe it different. No, I always describe it as like, it is a chemical trail that wards off predators. There's a very potent, acrid smell to it. And you've been sent beyond the scent border to help Tapper's Point grow up into this immense, powerful town on the edge of the territories. Gwendolyn, your matriarch, who is sort of like the leader of the Mouse Guard, hopes to extend the scent border and make Tapper's Point a pro destination for mice who want to perhaps build up a new life. So what we'll do now is go ahead and ask you guys what your mouse looks like, what their cloak color is, what their belief is, and go ahead and give us a little prologue on your experiences in Tapper's Point. What missions have you gone on? What, you know, hijinks have you gotten into? Let's go ahead and start with Old Blue, because you, Old Blue, I'm just bedazzled by you, honestly.
All right, well, Old Blue, he's a guard mouse. He's from Port Sumac originally. His fur used to be more of a blackish color, but it's gotten very gray in his old age. So he's still got little bits of it where it's still dark color, but most of it's kind of that salt and pepper gray now. And he wears a very deep blue, kind of oceany colored cloak. And while his job title would call him a fighter, he more or less yells at clouds and beats things up for a living.
Well done.
Oh, and his belief is that his old bones haven't failed him yet, and he's not going to stop until they do.
Oh my goodness. Well, until they do, you mentioned weather. What is probably your greatest accomplishment in Tapper's Point? Could it possibly have something to do with the weather?
Well, I mean, there was that time where we were like, let's take a boat, and for some reason I decided it was a good idea to use Weather Watcher to help us use the boat to force a thunderstorm to happen. That was a good idea.
It was a good idea. It certainly made things...
That may have culminated in the loss of somebody's limbs and part of their torso, maybe, possibly.
That's right. I'm just, it's just never a dull moment with Blue. And moving on, we have Cedric, who could be quite possibly the softest mouse to ever reach Tapper's Point. Go ahead and tell us about Cedric, if you will.
Hi, folks. Okay, so I'm Cedric. I'm relatively new to the mouse guard, however, I'm getting more accustomed to it. I'm just a general healer. If anyone needs, it's like, I broke my leg. I'll make a splint. There you go. Have some fun. However, my priority is scientist. Yeah. I have gray fur and a navy blue cloak. And my belief is that everyone is good unless proven otherwise.
Well, gracious. That sounds beautiful. Moving on to, let's see. Let's go with Elric. Elric, go ahead and give us a rundown. Oh, wait! Cedric, do you want to tell us maybe one of your accomplishments in Tapper's Point as of late, if you can remember?
I can't. Wait.
Yes. Yes.
My greatest accomplishment was definitely befriending. Help me with the name.
Drugda.
Drugda was definitely befriending Drugda.
Ah, yes.
With repellents.
Tell us who Drugda is for anybody who is not aware of who and what she is.
Drugda is a hermit weasel who wears the shell of a turtle and many different murdering apparatus pieces that could kill you very fast. And yet, for some reason, Cedric is like, no. You know what? You're gonna be my friend. This is happening. And so he did. With a fresh array of repellents.
Elric, go ahead and tell us about yourself, your time in Tapper's Point, for, you know, all the cosmetic stuff that make you, I don't know, stand out in the streets.
Well, Elric is a red first, so again, that's rare in itself.
It's true.
So he also has a sword called Weasel's Bane that was made for him back in Lockhaven, which he originally hails from. Was made by his father before he, well, actually when he earned his guard cloak, I'm sorry, which is forest green, and he recently had a mission where he helped Tilly bring back a baby crab to Tapper's Point, much to, you know, Drugda's dismay, because now Tilly's trying to train a crab, and all Drugda wants to do is eat the crab. But, and Elric's belief is that cleverness, when applied properly, can bring down the most powerful foes.
Ain't that the way? Moving on to, I believe you're the newest player and member of the Tapper's Point, Mouse Guard.
I believe so, yes.
Erna Ravenwood?
Ravenrock.
Ravenrock! They're two different things! Go ahead, give us your speed, if you will.
Alright, so Erna is a patrol guard. She originally hails from Spruce Tuck. Her fur is a mottled brown, and she has a faded red cloak color. She really specializes in, she's an outdoors mouse. She does a lot of scouting and foraging, and it kind of brings us back to civilization in the form of maps. So she was sent here to connect with the local guard captain and join up with the Tapper's Point in my last session. Her belief is that the best laid plans of mice may go awry, but they're still worth laying. And her instinct is generally to back up and reassess the situation, not take too many risks with what she has.
Alright.
And I believe my greatest accomplishment so far was starting off a detailed map of the region and all its predators.
Lovely. And that will come in handy, that's all I'll say. Before we start, let me just go ahead and tell you guys that you too can join our game and and learn how to play the fantastic game of Mouse Guard, just join our Discord. We'll put you in one of the 2 days that we play every week. And also, if you feel like it, you can sort of add to our coffers for the donation pool, which has gotten our Mice of Tapper's Point out of some sticky situations. It's also lost some of us an arm. I'll say that and continue onwards. Anyways, we shall continue with my own personal announcement. I just got a bunch of bows. Just wanted to show it off. Look at so many. They're beautiful. I'm wearing it tonight to show off. This one's a little pretty, so I just wanted to be vain. That's all. Let's bring it
One of these
down.
days, you're just gonna have a dozen bows.
Yes, like every week, I just add another bow until it's just there's nothing.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
All of it is just bow.
Oh my goodness. If you
Hey
donate,
guys, you like my new bow cut?
oh my gosh, I should do a thing where if you donate like $10, I'll put on another bow.
Do it.
What happens if I run out of bows?
Do you have $10 per bow?
You need to do that.
Buy more
That
bows.
needs to
Do
happen.
Oh my gosh.
That's a fantastic donation thing.
But what if
What
they're
if they have a
all
hive mind, Abby?
sentient?
What if they have
If
a
they're
hive
all
mind, Abby?
sentient, oh no.
Oh my goodness. Well, anyways, we're gonna get right into it, everybody.
Bow
Time to
incentives. Please do it.
Time to bring it down to Tapper's Point. If you don't know, Tapper's Point is this small budding town that lies beyond the scent border in the Wild Country, specifically in a tight grove of pine trees. The floor of these woods are sort of littered with pine needles, making it exceptionally difficult to traverse. But thankfully, the guards mice have been able to blaze several trails for the merchant mice of Port Sumac and some of the wilder mice of Wolf Point. The only two destinations in the territories that have sort of kept contact with the Tapper's Point mice. The lot of you eventually are directed to visit Patrol Leader Quincy's office. And if you don't know, Patrol Leader Quincy is the administrative head of some of the finer details of Tapper's Point, while Guard Captain Arabelle is sort of the big headstone of the activities that go on. But Patrol Leader Quincy seems to have taken over authority on giving the patrols missions as well as forming those patrols. So the four of you are sort of gathered by Seabree. Seabree is this little mouse in armor. She guards the gates with a certain mouse named Blaze. But Seabree, this little brown furred guard mouse, is sort of now taking on the running duties of alerting many of you. Do you want to arrive all at once, or one at a time, or how do you want to do it?
I'm in the
Comfortable
back.
arriving.
That's all I have to say.
All at once, I don't suppose why not.
Yeah, I think arriving all at once would be
No.
fairly.
No. I request an order. I make everyone go in front of me, and I am behind.
Oh, we can all arrive at the same time and you're in the back. That's fine.
So,
Can I go to push? That's fine.
If he's gonna wait until
No,
dawn,
you're
it's
not
gonna be
going to-
very slow because Old Blue has advanced oldness now. So
You're
he's
gonna make-
be
I haven't
really
met
long.
Blue.
that's right. Blue.
None of us have.
Neither have I.
Blue is really old. Are you sure you want to make this old mouse go in front of you? You should give him some space.
No.
I'm just-
But I would like to
awful.
introduce myself. I've never met him.
No, you haven't. Actually, yeah, the guy. You all understand that you're probably going to be in a patrol together for today's mission, since you're all summoned here.
Hello, folks.
It's good to see you again, Cedric.
It's good to see you too.
Hopefully you've been faring
Erna.
well.
I've been doing okay. It's also good to see you too again, Elric.
Hi,
All the
Cedric.
chatting.
And I casually reach out a paw and pat his fur and I'm just
I go to give him a hug.
amazed.
Oh. Instead
then I'm
of
like-
instead of just a small pawful, you get a whole whoomph.
And I'm like, and in Eric's head, you're like, it's marvelously soft.
Blue will
Okay.
walk around this show of affection. He just
I-
doesn't want anything to do with it.
I'll-
he's just
I'll
gonna
head on
hire
in
all these
with
3
Blue.
new people because he's never seen any of them. He's been taking a break since summer started.
That's true.
He just kind of walks around them in a wide arc, just like, nope.
Okay, I go. Okay, I break off, and I notice that there's another one here who I have never met before.
So,
like,
Blue, are you just straight up going in?
Oh yeah, he's got to be on top.
All right. Blue opens the door, or
I'll hold
knocks,
it with
or
him.
I'm
however
behind.
he does it.
I'm behind. Never mind.
Just taps
I'll go
on
in.
with his halberd.
I'll go in
Introduce,
Albert,
we'll
with a
introduce myself later.
with a heavy tapping of his weapon. You hear a voice inside say, "Oh, please come in."
Pushes the door open and just kind of hobbles his way in and immediately sits in the first chair.
All right, you sit in the chair. Old Blue, the office of Patrol Leader Quincy has changed over many, many times. You notice that he has moved the furniture pretty much daily, and it is unscrupulously clean, or at least organized. But you also notice that the walls are adorned with several bright blue hydrangeas, which are these lovely little blue flowers in a big cone clump. And it smells quite potent. And looking at Patrol Leader Quincy, it's he seems to be a little under the weather, you could say. But he looks up, gives you a big smile, and says, "Ha! Well, take a seat. It's good to see you, Blue. My goodness."
Thank you, sir. It's been a few weeks. I've been taking it easy a little bit. The boat's been needing a good polish. Still haven't found any water to put it in yet.
Oh, well, I think you could keep an eye out for some little lakes or little rivers, however you want to, How are you planning on getting that thing to the water, actually?
That is a bridge we will cross when we get to it.
Uh-huh. Alrighty then. And he sort of like wipes his nose on his cloak, just sort of dabbing it, and says, "The rest of you, please come in. We have business to attend
Follow
to."
suit.
And I'm in behind Blue,
Alright.
not at Quincy.
He nods at you
I-
and sort of gives you a little wink.
Similarly, I'll pull
I-
to the side.
Cool. And I move in and try to be as subtle as I possibly can.
Okay. He sort of regards all of you with a dazzle in his eyes, and he says, "This is going to be very good. I'm getting the feeling it's going to be very good. We're only waiting on one more." And the door opens once more, and a fifth mouse enters. This mouse is larger than most of you, but he's a little bit thinner than some of the other wild mice that you might have met. This is one of the Mutter twins, who are the family of wild mice that you have sort of allied with Tapper's Point. And Cutter, I don't know if any of you were on the mission where Cutter was involved, but he is one of the Mutter twins, which are the big, chunky wild mice. Him being probably the smallest.
Did I meet him? I might have.
You might have met a different Mutter twin.
It might have been, that's what I'm thinking.
Weasel, was he in that one?
Oh, sorry?
I was, Blue was in the one where we met the weasel lady. Was he in that one?
Oh, he was. Cutter was the one who was sort of trying to broker a deal between the rabbits and Drukta the weasel after they wrecked her home.
Oh, okay, so he was the one that we actually went out to find. Okay.
Yeah. So he comes in and notices you, Old Blue, and sort of gives you a nod and says, I'm here to, I guess go over things. And Quincy goes, yes, take a seat. How are you doing, Cutter? It's been a while since we saw you. And And Cutter just sort of waves and says, Don't ask me about it. It's we're very busy out there. That's all I'll say, okay? And Quincy goes, no problem. So the four of you need to do us a big favor. And he sort of gives Cutter this gesture, and Cutter actually starts speaking to you, saying, alright, there's a bunch of rabbits, some warrens to the east in the hills and plains that we were hoping to get on our side. Usually, I'm the one who sort of talks to them, sort of negotiates these deals and whatnot. But since last time, we clearly had an issue with the Weasel Drupda, and it never got resolved with the rabbits there. Quincy, do you really need those rabbits? And Quincy says, yes, this is very important. We'll be the only town this far east, I mean, heck, this part of the territories, with rabbits at our disposal. If we have them as our allies, we'll be able to make these trading paths so much more simpler, faster, excellent, smooth. It'll be so easy to get the supplies we need if we have fast transportation. And as excited as Quincy is, Cutter is wincing even harder. And he says, "That's the problem, because they don't think we value them, because we took Drupda's side." And I've tried to go back and talk to them, but they're just not having it. And Quincy says, "Well, then they must have a problem with you."
It wasn't a matter of taking sides. They destroyed her house. It was her right. They were on her property to kill her.
And Cutter says, "Well, yeah, they were at fault, but they don't care. They don't care that they're at fault. They're rabbits, Old Blue.
Indeed. Well,
If we didn't take their side, we didn't take their side.
Like 2 of them, there'll be like 20 again by next season."
It's a valid point.
We were in Drupda's house the last time I was around. She remarked that on her property there were a number of skulls. In that context, it was specific to her previous spouses. Having been there, how many rabbit skulls might I have seen?
You actually saw a rabbit's foot on her belt.
On her head, that's right.
But you get the assumption that maybe there was some larger skulls that you might assume could be rabbits. I don't know. Have you seen a rabbit skull before?
Not so many animals have that kind of head size or shape.
Do you have Hunter?
I do, yes.
I'd say yeah. She does have a rabbit skull. You because you have Hunter, you've seen some leftovers from various predators.
Would I know this?
Do you have Hunter?
I think I do.
If so, and because you talked with Drupda and sort of, I don't know if you're friends, but you're certainly talking, you probably noticed just as much, including that rabbit's foot.
Biddy told me that she said that I was her friend at that point, so I'm saying yes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you would know. You
I don't have Hunter. I don't have Hunter, but I do have Archivist and Lore Mouse and stuff. So maybe Archivist?
Archivist, okay.
Because you look into books of people reporting on a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, probably, or Lore Mouse. Archivist.
Well, Lore Mouse.
Yeah, I'd
It's
say Lore
something
Mouse
I
and
would
Hunter.
mention now.
Yep.
But Cutter goes on and says, if you still need to get these rabbits on your side, I'm not going back there. Because at this point, they're rowdy. And he sort of grits his teeth. And Quincy goes, well, that's why I gathered all of you. And that's why I had, good old Cutter here tell us about rabbits. I need you to travel to the Rabbit Warren and get us an alliance going, please. Do whatever it takes. As in,
Understood.
do whatever the heck they tell you. As
Short of breaking any previous agreements with Drupda.
I'm gonna be honest, Guard Captain Arabelle really does not like having a weasel nearby, no less as an ally. So I would say try to not bring up the weasel thing. If you can, you should try to make that a Mutter twin thing. Try to disassociate us with what happened. And Cutter sort of tilts his head at this and goes, you know, I'm still waiting for this to blow over. If you want to throw us under the bus, that's fine. Just expect us to get something in return, because rabbits, that Warren is useful. And Quincy goes, fine, we'll deal with that later, but for now, I need this patrol to travel to the den, get some talks going, and do whatever might make them comfortable to have us negotiate some writing, some pack rabbits.
Permission to speak frankly, Quincy? Patrol Leader Quincy?
Well, speak frankly, I enjoy honesty in this space.
I believe that any agreement with Drugda is ultimately a temporary one. She views this region as hers by right and through force. And it's my perception that she's aligned with us currently because it's advantageous. But if we intend to make this into a proper settlement, as opposed to an outpost where we start bringing more mice in and start controlling the surrounding environment, that will bring us into direct opposition with her interests. And she's not moving.
That's a good point.
Well,
oh no. You're right. I've been so focused of making the town look good, as making Tapper's Point into an actual town. I didn't think about the fact that we're still in the wild country. We can't have weasels in the territories. Okay, if that's the case, then play that angle. Drugda's not going to be around forever. That way the rabbits are going to be on point with what we want to sort of, you know, build our relationship on. Yeah, that'll work. But as for the rest of you, you might imagine I'm assigning you to this to protect your fellow mice as well, because, as I said, still wild country out there. At the very least, we can help civilize it a bit if you run into any trouble. And I'm guessing the rabbits are starting to discover it's not nice here in the summer, with all the animals out and about. Especially some of the predators. But I trust you. I think you guys got this. Any other questions or concerns? However you want to do this.
Well, just, you youngins, don't expect the rabbits to, just because they're cowards, to not fight if they're backed in a corner. They don't like what we have to say and they think we're gonna kill them. They're twice our size.
Cutter actually chimes in and says he's actually got a point. The rabbits can stomp us just as easily as any fox or falcon. And Quincy goes, noted. But that's why we would like them on our side. I think having such an animal would help us move through our trade lines without incurring the wrath of, you know, bandits and whatnot. So flatter them if that a word of caution, but again, use it to your strength. Flatter them if you need to.
that shouldn't be hard.
I think that's an angle we can work with.
Alright. Fair enough.
Internally, Cedric is very conflicted right now because he worked damn hard to make Drugda a friend.
You spent so many
But-
points.
I know. But also, that means that, though it may be to her advantage, that she's not wholeheartedly set out to go against the mice.
Yeah. She is ultimately a force of nature. And you
Yeah.
either avoid it or you control it. And the only way you control that is through violence. And you can't avoid it because they want to really badly to live here.
Hurts
My
my heart.
concern is that she would be very good at killing mice.
Yeah, that's true.
and that's the only way she's living.
She
Yeah.
She has trophies of mice. She has mouse trophies.
How did
I think it's a comment guard Captain Arabelle made. She's a weasel. She's killed something.
Yeah.
That's how she summed it up.
Alright.
Alright, this is something we should go over Cutter with so we can get a sense of previous politics. Let's see if there's something else we can use for leverage rather than just the relationship with Durga right now.
That's a good plan. The flattery I have in the bag.
You're just as soft as I am.
No. Oh yeah.
Like before we leave the office, and discuss it. Are we leaving the office to discuss it with Cutter? This is out of character.
Yeah. Cutter is going to, like, he's not going to go on the mission with you, but he's going to sort of walk around before you guys leave, because this also concerns him and his family. The Mutter twins are going to be impacted by this, so he just wants to talk about it with you. But
Okay.
Quincy is done with you guys. He's ready to dismiss you.
Before we leave the office, I say to Quincy, "Can I discuss something with you in private for a moment?"
Oh, well, of course. Cutter, go ahead and get them prepared to go.
I'll step out.
But yes, good luck, all of you. And you're raising your hand.
Yes. I was just gonna say, like, when we leave, can I just say that for the time that they're chatting and whatever, I'm idling with Cutter, trying to learn more about the Mutter twins and what they do and how that works.
Sure thing.
Okay. Just-
And then Quincy actually suddenly stops and says, Cedric, is the... Hold on. And he puts a finger up to you, Elric, and goes over to Cedric and says, are these toxic? And he sort of points to the flowers.
Good question. Hang on. What were they again?
Hydrangeas.
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 Hydrangea. Let me do a quick Google.
I can't recall if they are poisonous.
Bye, Ish. You have a good time, okay?
Bat-ish.
But he'll just sort of like try to like get your opinion on them, and then he'll go to you, Mr.
They are fine.
Mr. Elric.
Hydrangeas are not poisonous.
Oh!
They are just fine.
Oh! And then he says, I'm glad. They're not as... It's not the right hue, but... I think they suit
At
the
least-
office.
Yes, good. Oh no. Yes. Okay.
Best of luck, alright? As he sort of like claps
Thank
you on the shoulder and gives you a wave. And then he closes the door and turns to you, Elric, and says, well, whew, this is a doozy of a mission.
Does seem like it's gonna have it's gonna be cut out for us on this one, that's for sure. But I had a question of a more personal nature because I'm looking for some more responsibility myself, and I was wondering, you know, how you went about it. Like when you were getting, you know, more responsibility from the guard captain. Like, did she give that to you willingly, or because I'm thinking about asking her myself? Did you go to her willingly, or did you, you know, was that an order from up top?
Well, you have to imagine the situation in Tapper's Point is very new. The guard's never done anything like this before, and it's outside of a lot of the history books.
Right.
Seeing that we want to do this right, I did get some advice, not only from the matriarch, but from a few friends back at Lockhaven, Red Jack including. And he also had some choice words on, you know, we can't handle a delicate situation like Tapper's Point with just one mouse in charge. We have to give the people of Tapper's Point an ideal place of belonging. We also want to make sure that when we do extend the scent border, we not only include the mice of the territories, but the mice of the wild country. We have to stand as a beacon of safety, civilization, and progress. At least that's what I'm hoping to turn it into. I'm certain that Guard Captain Arabelle, and she has... I'll make no attempts to bring down her effect on this town. We have some disagreements, but when it comes to trade, when it comes to what the Guard should be doing, I think we can both agree on various points. But what sort of responsibilities were you looking for? I mean, gracious, I'm putting you in charge of discussing rabbit negotiations.
Yeah, I realize that. I'm just looking to see if, if there's any room for further advancement.
How about this? You go ahead and write a report once you get back. Tell me what it is you think shines about your standing in the Guard, and I'll see if there's any place open for you. I'm telling you, Tapper's Point is growing. It's growing fast. You're lucky you're one of the first mice here, because next season, this place is going to get full. I seriously doubt we're going to get a lot more reinforcements than we need from Lockhaven.
Yeah, I totally understand, so I'll do my best to get these rabbits on our side.
See to it then. But anyways, anything else?
I think you've pretty much answered my question. Just to confirm again, so you got your orders from Arabelle directly?
She was the deciding factor, but I had a lot of input from some folks in Lockhaven and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
I couldn't do this without Guard Captain Arabelle's, say. To be fair, it takes a lot of work to keep this place running, and I don't think she really realizes that. Hence why I wanted to split the duties.
Right.
But she had a yes, and that's why I'm here. That's why I have the office. I mean, are you looking for an office too? I mean...
Well, I mean, hey, every mouse hopes for advancement someday.
Oh.
And I mean, let's face it, an office is going to keep you alive a lot longer than being out in the wild country. But let's face it, I've never been one to be outside of the wild country besides, because I was trained by Red Jack.
Well, we can talk about stories of that crazy mouse some other time. You got some traveling to do.
For certain.
Alright, and he sort of salutes you and sits back down at his desk to sort of arrange things. Before he decides otherwise and decides to go and arrange more of the flowers.
And he heads out, Alaric heads out to meet the others to get some information from Cutter.
Alright, what do you guys want to ask Cutter?
I was wondering about his family's history with the rabbits, and what other bad blood they may have had in the past.
Exactly.
And
about them themselves.
Or good blood.
So, Cutter sort of begins to tell you about his family. He says, well, I know that it all started with Mutter. And Mutter is one of the... Honestly... Mutter is the whole reason we're alive. Some of us lost our families. Some of us never had them to begin with. But you kind of... It's hard to say. And you can see he's sort of... It's a little bit of a painful subject. But he sort of tries to keep going. I don't know how exactly it started. It started with Mutter and his twin Nutter, but I never got to meet Nutter. I met Gutter. Gutter and Jetter are legit twins. They're like twin twins, but when we find a mouse who is lost, clearly needs some guidance, pick him up, treat him like one of our own, and eventually we can feel when they're in trouble. We can feel when they're happy. That's sort of what Mutter talks about when he talks about his brother.
Being adopted, this gets to me.
Now, I get that we're just twins are like two mice, but that's how we describe our family. Like twins, we know when one of us is feeling sad, we know when one of us is happy, we know when one of us is hurt. We just have this connection. And thankfully, that helps us know when we need help. Now, I'm Cutter. I'm the one who talks to the animals. I'm the one who really tried to get the rabbits to calm down. The one you need to talk to is this rabbit named Werner. And Werner is, I'd say he's the head burrower. They don't really have titles. The rabbits of the Warrens, they don't work like mice do. They're just sort of like a unit, like almost like the Mutter twins. But I think if you talk to Werner, and you also talk to Holly, one of his does, you'll be able to get an idea on what they want and what they need, and I need you to spin this in my favor, because the rabbits dominate a big portion of the wild country that we move through. We hide a lot of food out there in the hills. And we have a lot of safe houses out there too. So if you can spin this so that we're not held responsible for what happened with Drugda, that'd be great.
Don't worry, we have no intention of throwing anyone under the proverbial bus.
We don't even know what a bus is.
A cart.
A cart.
The cart.
A 16-wheel cart.
There we go.
Imagine it carries school children. I'll unravel my map.
School mice.
And I will ask where on this, even in the unfilled sections, the rabbits hold territory.
The rabbits are in this big square. Thankfully, they sort of are in the little edges of this square. The square is like a treeless, hilly region where they make a lot of their burrows and they graze a lot. There's this big, giant tree in the middle of it, but other than that, it's a fairly featureless, rolling plain with lots of tall weeds. You do see that Drugda helped you fill out this section with a hawk that makes flybys very often, and she also did tell you that there was a snake named Roland who seems to move around a lot in this territory.
I can work with that. Never walk into a negotiation with your paws empty. So I will ask. I'm not as familiar with Tapper's Point, so I'll ask any of our more veteran mice. Who, if you had to name someone who is an expert on the sciences here, who would it be?
Hi.
Are there any other senior members, or is Cedric the foremost one I can speak to at the moment?
I'd say you got Old Blue. You probably know Urianos as sort of like the local quack.
I would too.
I think we can
you've
collaborate as well. I mean,
yeah.
All I'm thinking is we walk into that with a plan on repellents, some way of dissuading, whether it's fake laced meat or repellents there just to drive them away from the rabbit's territory, and have that to start with. So we have a different discussion to speak about completely separate from Druid at the moment. Because that's what their current problem is during the summer. And yes, Cedric, you're top of the list, but I'd like to hear more about the Urianos.
Right, but I'm just saying, I would know this too, considering I would have gone to them to consult them about different things.
I'll say yeah.
The rabbits?
Urianos has this little section of Tapper's Point where he just does like experiments. He's never like a big authority on science, but he's the most science-minded mouse in Tapper's Point.
He's the one you go to if you want that fancy, bubbly water, mumbo jumbo, smelly junk.
Smelly junk is what we're looking for at the moment.
Bango.
That are nightshade laced meat.
Okay.
Anyways, aside from that point.
By the way, write down goals if you have them.
Oh,
Yes, I do. Trivial as it is a goal.
But if you want to talk to Urianos, you totally can. Do you want to do that?
Yes, please.
Right. Urianos has a little workshop on the second floor of Tapper's Point. And when you go inside, it's just a small circular room with lots of tables, as well as different instruments and shelves and cabinets. Clearly, he has a lot of experiments running at one time, and he is a not very tall, but he's sort of this live black-furred mouse with these big, thick goggles on his forehead as he sort of just appears to be preparing one of the tables for what looks like some sort of, I don't know, must be boiling something. And he sort of turns and looks over to you guys and goes, "Ah! Guards mice, hi!
Hello!
Great to see ya! What do you need?"
We're hoping for your advice on a particular issue.
Oh, sure, just give me a moment. And he sort of like turns the burners on a little harder. And then sort of goes, "Okay, yeah, you can talk now."
All right, so I was wondering how familiar you are with repellents or ways to dissuade particularly hawks and snakes.
Oof. Well, number one, you could use something sharp. That's usually the best repellent. Yeah, it's readily available for you mice, actually. At least guards mice.
Yes.
And then he actually says, you could also, oh man, that's really sad. You missed out on that old grandma mouse, whatever her name is. She had a repellent at some point. Hold on. And you see he's sort of boiling these leaves and various other things inside this this little pot. And you also notice that on the table he has little round balls. And then a trash heap of them beside this table. And he sort of says, you know, repellent's good for, you know, things that travel on land. A hawk? Heck no. I mean, unless you douse yourself in, well, unsavory material. And, I mean, yeah, maybe they'll think twice. But that's when they caught you. And, I guess better safe than sorry. But, for snakes, if you smell like a dead thing, I don't know if the snake will get you. It depends on the snake, I guess.
They work by thermal, not by scent.
Not by scent?
They can taste scent, however.
Then you have to
Yeah,
taste
it's probably
bad, I
guarding
guess,
this
but, I mean, the snake won't care. It's food is food, yo.
We're specifically thinking about ways to move them out of a territory, relocating, specifically.
And you see he puts on some gloves and starts reaching into this pot and sort of pulls out these big, thick, dripping balls of just like fur, leaves, and all sorts of stuff that's sort of been wrapped up in this big, thick ball. And he sort of says,
Would I know what this is?
it looks similar to the repellent poles that you guys did not too long ago with Grandma Biddy. But doesn't look like hers. It looks like a little homebrewed something. And he says, I mean, I'm just a wacky guy who just does things that come to my very, very sharp brain. So I don't see snakes too often. I sure as heck don't see any hawks. So really, it's a matter of you telling me what you think is, you know, pretty awesome. And then, hopefully I get some compensation for my hard work.
Well, any theories or threads of investigation that come to that sharp brain of yours, we think would expedite that possibility of returned favors and assistance.
Well, yeah.
Future projects, perhaps, we could assist with.
You know, I got an idea. Yeah,
I'd be more than
you keep trying to think about how to get these predators, these nasty things, out of the area with something to drive them off. But I'm wondering, is that really all you can think of? I mean, there are other ways to get them to leave.
Well, aside from destroying their nests.
Aside from that, but you know, why not just introduce something that predates on them?
I was thinking of potentially provoking the snake and hawk. Considering they would, a confrontation between the two would be likely to be lethal to both groups. I'm not sure.
Not to mention put us in the crossfire.
It would be incredibly risky for the potential benefits. But what are you, what would you think would predate on either group, or both ideally?
Well, heck, you just need to introduce something that's a threat to both of them, and then they should learn their lesson. Whether that's, you know, guards mice or something nastier.
Any animals in mind?
I don't know. You could get like something that you could get some. If it's a snake, you could try to get some deer to trample a certain area if they're, you know, in a big hurry. Other than that, you could try to get a bear, but I don't know if a bear is good for this side, especially for hawks. Snakes, I can imagine. If you get like something like a something to hunt down the snake, maybe that'll learn its lesson, but that. Because to be honest, I would get the hawk involved on that snake business, but then hawk's gonna go after you once the snake's done. So this is really a bad idea. I don't really know how to help you. Sorry. And he sort of is now like trying to pack the balls and sort of like trying to insert this like tube into them.
What about, instead of repellents, what about a bait near the snake's nest to bring the hawk into the area? What would be an effective lure?
You see, he seems to be drawing a blank. He seems to have his mind on something more important. And he just says, I'm just a science guy. Yo, I don't know about any of these animals.
Alright. May I ask what you're working on, out of curiosity?
Well, I'm kind of gonna get kicked out of town if I don't start up in my game. And he is now, like, tossing all the leaves and clumps that he's boiled on the floor. And he just sort of leans against the table and says, there's this old biddy, literally, who is kind of really smart. And she doesn't really have the equipment. Is the word? Smart is the word, because one, I have all the equipment I need to, you know, do anything I want, I guess. But she kind of just out of nowhere can make this concoction that can make an entire anthill just disperse, and I can't recreate it.
I'd be more than willing to assist in some way if I can.
I mean, that'd be great, but...
still around?
She... No, she left. She went somewhere.
Cedric, don't you have one of those repellent balls on you?
Oh, I tried so hard to get one. I did not have the monetary compensation for it.
Ah.
Nope. You did not? Nope.
However...
You didn't roll for it.
I did. No, yeah, that didn't go well at all.
Cutter leans into you, Erna, and he says, I get what you're trying to do, but I don't see how it's gonna connect. You got the hawk in the air, you got the snake on the ground. We don't even know if they're bothering the rabbits yet. I'm
No, but
just
the shooting's not gonna
saying,
bother us.
we don't need to make a promise that we're gonna get these animals out of there.
Well, it's
Until they
not a
ask us.
promise at this stage. If it's something that we could do, however, it's an opening bid that could restart, revitalize, remove the old junk from the negotiations from the air. If it gives them a goal to focus on, because I guarantee you, if they're not necessarily going after them, they're worried about them. The more children in this time period they have, they're going to be worried about how well their youngsters are going to be doing when they first go out there. It's not something we have to commit to right now. We're not letting them know, saying we're going to do this, but we have an afternoon. If we can think of something, it's a starting point.
I just beat him on the beak. That's what I do.
Oh, Hoxham are a fair bit larger than that. Erna's half missing ear, ideally flex subconsciously.
But yeah, what do you guys want to do now?
I would like to ask him if I could work in his lab every once in a while, possibly, just in case I may need materials or to make something. And in turn, I would help him with his projects.
He sort of nods, and then you can see he's a little defeated at this point. He says, "Well, sure. I guess it can't hurt. Maybe if this place is useful to you, they'll let me keep it."
This place is wonderful. Honestly, if I could, do I have a residence yet? Do I have a place to
You have a
reside?
barracks.
Right. But this place would be more beneficial to me as a barracks, wouldn't it?
I'm not gonna let you stay here. No.
Okay, my bad.
he,
thought.
he just sort of like crosses his arms now.
I wasn't thinking of. Yes, I was.
Yeah, you notice there's no bed. There's just like a couple sheets under one of the tables and a little straw pillow.
It's no different than the library. But anyways, alright. I would more than likely frequent this area, so I don't think it's going to be going anytime soon.
Well, whatever you want, kid. Gosh. Just don't expect us to be like the weasel. Them.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Well, gosh, you're just as worse as that Tilly girl, as far as I know. You just smell better. Both of you hang out with that weasel quite a lot.
Oh, ow.
And I don't know what she does with her things, but, you know, these are sensitive instruments. So, I'm just saying.
If I can make a repellent sufficient enough for a weasel, I think I'm good enough to make a any repellent here.
And he just starts shrugging and, like, mugging.
Anyways, don't worry, your place is safe.
Alright, well, what do you guys do?
Promise I think we can make necessarily.
I'm thinking about Biddy Antherd and her repellent balls.
Okay.
I was wondering actually about that. I was going to ask Oranos where that mouse hill he saw was.
Mouse hole?
Sorry, sir, the anthill that he
Anthill.
saw dispersed.
I can lead the way.
Actually, yeah. Cedric
could.
Was on that mission. He knows where it is.
Was this recently?
Yeah, it was
like
last session.
Think it's something we could reverse engineer, possibly? See if it's applicable?
If they're still there, maybe.
If they're still there, then we can't do much. But if they're not there, then we can go and try and see.
I'm talking about the balls, reverse engineering one of the balls.
Oh god. I can attempt, but I make absolutely no guarantees.
We'll see if it's something we can work on at the very least. It's a starting point.
That's fair.
How far is it from Tapper's Point?
Less than a day.
Okay.
Uh,
We can use a check for that.
Alright, are you guys gonna go to the Ant Hill site?
yes.
Alright, give me just give me a
I think that's a good
Pathfinder
idea.
Obstacle 3, if you will.
Pathfinder Obstacle 3. Oh.
So I have...
Old Blue, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, Old Blue's been strangely quiet.
Oh, he was outside the entire time you were in the smelly place. He has no interest in science.
Oh, okay.
He wonders why we're messing
I
around
disappeared.
with all this when we're supposed to just go talk to some rabbits at this point. Honestly, like, we're doing a lot of sidetrack.
I would consider it more prep work than sidetrack. Is it the opposite direction from the rabbits?
It's a little further north. It's sort of around the radish farm way up here, but the rabbits are going to be all the way over here.
That's something we can swing around.
Okay.
But yeah, if you guys want to make that Pathfinder check to go to the anthill, go ahead. But remember, you guys are a patrol, so you can talk about how you want to do and accomplish whatever
Yes.
you've been given.
Alright, so I have Pathfinder 3. Does anyone have higher?
I've got
I have
Pathfinder,
Pathfinder
3 as well.
Okay.
Old Blue,
Someone
we
have
need
it.
your help.
Well, who has some skills that might be applicable to that?
Old Blue, we need your help. What is your Pathfinder?
It's the same 3.
Everybody
Oh,
has
okay.
3. Okay then.
Wow, we're all boned.
Well, I have Scout. We could apply that possibly.
Yep. Scout can help.
Hidey hole wise.
Hidey hole wise will help. Who wants to make the check?
Whoever doesn't
Not
have any
me.
other bonuses that they can add. We're all
Wait,
3,
do I
so
have a bonus?
you have hidey holes.
No, my
I've got Hunter or Survivalist.
Oh, what was that, Blue?
Yeah.
Said I don't think I have anything that can help that wasn't already mentioned.
You can use Pathfinder to help. So we already have someone who's using Scout, Hidey hole wise. I guess that means if Brahms or Blue want to make the lead, Cedric could be the one to do this test since he was there.
boy.
Would my map help at all?
Yeah.
Except you all know he has the worst luck.
Because
be,
you
like,
don't have this
notorious.
listed on your map, probably not.
Okay, I'll try and add this as we
Okay.
go then.
Cedric, do you want to lead the check?
Okay.
I don't actually
If this
know what
goes
is, so
wrong.
Okay,
I
Old Blue,
can't-
you want to help
fair
with
warning.
Pathfinder?
I can do that.
Okay. Brahms, what
I'll
are you
do
what are you helping with?
Would Survivalist be acceptable
have
in this
Hunter?
situation? Because we're going to be making a trek out in the terrain, so we are going to need to be able to find water and scavenge things as we need.
I guess. Are there any other skills?
I've got Hunter
Hunter.
that would apply, but even then it's like,
I think maybe survivalist. Yeah. What about you, Arcane?
I have Scout.
Scout. Okay. So all those can help. You have 3
And
helping
hidey hole
dice,
wise.
Cedric.
As well as
So
hidey hole
7
wise.
plus your own hidey hole and 3
Yeah.
Pathfinder.
Yep, because Wises can help you.
So we're at 7 dice?
I believe so, and you need 3 successes. Any traits
Cool,
used
that-
for or against?
Query. I at the end of our last session, we got hungry and hungry thirsty. I'm not sure if that was alleviated in the intervening time or if I'm still stricken.
I think you're still stricken. You'd have to recover with a check from the player's turn.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did the rest of you guys get that cleared up last session?
no.
Okay, so we're all still hungry and thirsty.
I am also tired, so.
Oh.
For some reason, I'm the only healthy one? Okay.
Wait, did you get that fixed up then, Cedric? Without the rest
Yeah,
of
I
us? Okay.
It's alright. That was last session.
Fix some stuff.
Yeah, okay.
there.
So I'm going to,
Yes.
I'm going to add a persona point, but take off one thing
You're using a trait
Give my-
against yourself, right?
yes.
Which trait?
Let me see here. Likely inquisitive.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I will mark off a used against. However,
But you're going to use a persona point to give yourself one, so they cancel each
taking
other
myself
out.
one die, so they cancel each other out.
Okay, so
So
go
it's
ahead.
a negate, but still a benefit. So we're at 7 dice total. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Everything cut out there for a second. I need to copy paste.
Yeah. Let me actually go ahead and add the rabbit warrens right here. Oh, whoopsie. There.
Does the copy paste up?
No, you can find that in the character sheets at the very bottom in handouts, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you it right here.
There we go. Thank you. I don't know what kind of god powers you have that do that, but it is always helpful.
It's this little button that I think only the DM has that says show to players. I wish you could do that with everybody. That would be very helpful.
Paste. And then we go to here. Then we go to 7. Okay.
I need
That's
one
cool.
more.
I'm going to explode that die.
Alright,
using
spend a fate point.
Yep.
It's the 50-50. Hasn't worked out in the past.
It's Cedric we're talking about
It
here.
is Cedric. No!
It's notoriously Cedric.
Okay, so you go to the anthill. You guys
I
follow
hate
him,
this.
and you
What do I mark
move
as a failure?
along. And along the way, you do sort of stumble on a few of the pine needles and such, but you're making good progress, actually. Cedric, the path is very, like, it's in your brain. You know exactly where to go. And you go there, and you see the immense anthill. And it is still a bit imposing, because not too long ago, Pepperjack fumbled and was nearly swarmed by fire ants. But
Oh, I'm going to be disturbed.
yeah, but thanks to the brave efforts of Ida and the fact that he broke his prosthetic arm to get free, he was saved from being devoured and bitten horribly. But Ida was, she got the full brunt of those fire ants as they were scattered by Grandma Biddy Antherd's chemical balls that sort of disrupted the pheromones of these ants. What do you do now that you see the anthill?
First off, what do I mark off as a fail?
You would mark this off as a fail, yes.
Where?
There's P's and F's right next to Pathfinder. You just check
Right.
the F one.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Because I have neglected to do that in the past.
But yeah, you see this anthill, and it looks the same as ever, except for the fact there are no ants.
Okay. I'm gonna say I have a cane. Or like
A cane?
a staff.
Okay.
A staff of some kind. Not a cane, not a cane. Just a walking stick, you know, like something that trail people have, you know, when they're traveling, they use it to poke out the area.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use that as my basic equipment.
Okay.
So I'm going to just poke at the ground to make sure that there's no ants. I'm going to progress towards the hole, hoping to find something there, but I will poke at the ground around it just to see if it turns anything up.
Alright, so you start tapping the ground with your... All of you see Cedric very cautiously, like trembling, I expect, with this anthill, just poking at it and sort of sliding the sand along, just making sure there's no ants. Thankfully, there is not. But as you begin to sort of tap around and you get closer to where you and your patrol inserted the chemical balls, you can start looking for them. Do you?
Yes.
Are you ready to start looking for the chemical balls, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm ready to start
We're
looking
here
for the
looking
chemical balls. That was the plan.
A mouse, right?
Say that again, Blue?
We're looking for a specific mouse here, right? We're not actually like just at an anthill for no reason.
We're looking for
So-
chemical balls.
Oh, you're actually looking just for the balls, not
Yeah. The Cedric would have told you that this anthill was sort of dispersed with these big clumps of chemicalized deterrent that Grandma Biddy Antherd had made. And you guys are hoping, I guess, to use these to somehow use them or repurpose them for the hawk and the snake that do roam that area where the rabbits live, I guess.
Something along those lines.
Okay.
See if I can dismiss something that would assist in that.
Cedric, do you lead them in this sifting through to find these balls?
To begin with, no. I will look for it for myself first, because I'm not going to drag them into this area. I know what happened here.
Alright.
And
You're using the
after a
stick,
bit-
right?
Yes.
Okay, you start using the stick. And you start to sort of poke the dirt and the sand that has been clumped up. And this goes on for, I'd say, a good 5 minutes. There's nothing there.
Okay,
Who's gonna
now I
stand
invite
guard
the other
for
ones to come and look.
Okay. You guys watch.
Somebody pick these up.
You guys watch Cedric dig through the hill, and then he sort of like turns to the rest of you and like, "Help me," I guess.
I'm just like, okay, it seems safe now. You can come and check. Well, I haven't seen
Who's gonna
anything
stay on
yet.
sentry and watch over them while they do that then? Just kind of watching for anything coming up out of the ground.
Sure.
Good call. Always a good call.
Yeah,
So
I'll come up and help them
With Old Blue watching over you, you begin to dig through, but you don't seem to find any clumps of anything underneath this hill.
Hmm.
Where were these thrown exactly?
They weren't thrown. They were buried.
They were buried inside the hills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give
did she
me
come back at all?
Arcane. Can you make your mouse Erna make a hunter check?
Absolutely. It's
Um,
just an unaided hunter.
Yeah, this is just for you to sort of, because here's the thing, your character, because they have Hunter, are going to notice that there are tracks around the anthill.
Can I assist with that since I have Hunter as well?
You have Hunter as well, then you also notice these. Does anybody else have Hunter?
I wish.
Okay.
I wish I hadn't sat on that.
Alright,
fish.
so one of
Okay.
you can make this Hunter check to identify the footprints with helping dice from that other mouse.
What's your hunter like?
Mine's 3.
So is mine.
Yep.
It's up to you.
I'll take the roll on it.
It's going to be obstacle... Obstacle 2. It's going to be
Okay,
obstacle
so-
2.
Okay, so currently we're at 4D.
50-50.
Let's see. I'm just gonna see if I've got any other traits. Anybody else got anything else that they think they can help with?
I have. I can't add traits.
You can't
to
add
this.
any more. Yeah, no.
Do you have a trait that could add to it?
I was
You can add a trait if you want, if it works.
Yeah.
Do you have one that works?
I'll use clever. Because I think it's pretty clever when you're trying to find something to reverse engineer, because you want to be able to look for that specific item.
I think that's fair. Makes sense to me.
Whenever you're ready to roll,
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was accepted or not.
I think it'll work.
Okay,
Just
I've
barely.
got a 6.
So
So I
it
could
looks
explode.
like there are several footprints around this anthill. You notice that they're about the same size as a mouse might be, but there's several of them. There seems to be possibly maybe 3 or 4 mice who must have come here to do something centered around the anthill.
No.
Alright, so for those of us who aren't as familiar with what went down, Cedric, these were buried and it implied there was no intention to come back to them, right?
Yes.
Was there anyone else who was interested in this anthill, and how many people were within Biddy's party? So I remember it was her and another patrol guard.
Yes, however, the thing is, there is a possibility of wild mice. I have encountered them before, And they may need these for future endeavors, so I don't know if they decided to dig their hands into the mouse hole and grab these again. Or if this is just Aunt Biddy somehow knowing, oh, someone's gonna come and try and steal my tricks of the trade, and then freaking leave with the same things. Because if that's the case, kudos to that douche.
Well, Elric's traveled with Biddy before on her way to Tapper's Point.
Yes.
So he would realize that, you know, her character wanting to preserve her name and her stature.
Yes. But I don't know.
These are a team of 4 or 5, though.
Is this the kind of creation that would work if it was removed? It seems like it might be from that it was buried underground. It's a slow burn, saturate the area, salt the earth type deal.
Oh, it was not slow. It was not slow.
I mean, when you bury it, it just saturates the region. It's not just because it's fast acting doesn't mean like the effective period isn't extended.
Yes, Cedric, I'd say it's only been about 2 days since you did this mission.
Yeah. Okay. Alright.
So sometime in the past 2 days, the balls were removed, and from what Elric and Erna could tell you, there were a group of mice who came here.
I'd say it's wild mice. We might
That's
ask.
the best guess.
We could ask Cutter. Cutter's
He's not here.
Yeah,
But
he's not
I
with
know
us.
he's not here with us. But later. We could ask him about it later.
But
See if he
yeah,
knows anything.
what do you guys do now?
At this point, we might as well head to the rabbits.
Can we follow the tracks?
No
I'd
opposition?
say you could, but that would be another check of some sort. You get the sense that they're heading further east, yeah.
What do you guys think? Do we want to follow those tracks, or do we want to have our negotiation?
I think east is the direction we were going to go anyways. East of this is farther east is the deer farm spawn. What is
The spawn.
what is that? I'm not
Spawn.
Yes, that is a place where the deer graze, as you could, and also where there seem to be a few wild plants that the mice would like to use as a
Harvest.
farm. Oops, there we go. No longer deer spawn.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that is a thing as well.
Actually, we're out doing this thing. I still haven't introduced myself to Blue.
No,
I think he knows who you are.
Pardon?
I think he knows who you are now.
Okay.
But you can say
That's
hi.
fair. I'd like to say, just like, I realize that we've been on this trek for a while now, but I just wanted to say hi. Personally, say hi. I'm Cedric. Pleasure to meet you. It's good to be on this journey with you. Anyways, let us be on with our journeys. Please tell me we have a plan on what we're doing.
I say east, and if it doesn't work out, we cut south.
Hang on, what was that, Blue?
Blue, after Cedric talks to him a little bit, he turns to one of the others. He's like, "He's not all there in the head, is he?"
No, what?
It's not well in the head.
Actually, I'm probably the most well in the head.
I'm not starting that competition over who's the most sane. Namely, because I don't think Erno would win it. But I think we should go east, and if it doesn't work out, we head south and we meet up with the rabbits. Then we dive into these discussions and see what's what.
I'm in agreement.
Yep.
Alright, east it is. Follow the tracks.
Okay, so you guys are trying to follow the tracks. You will have to make a Pathfinder check. Or, I think a Scout check, actually. Let me see which one is better.
Oh, why?
Because I could use Hunter, but I will not, since you use mouse.
They're hunting mice.
I would like.
Yep, it would be Scout. So I need someone to make a Scout check. It's going to be a versus test.
I can make a scout check. I have
Please
3
do.
scout, and
I
I
have
have
2.
my sharp-eyed trait, which I think will be assistance. Does
I
someone
have hiding
assist?
hole wise too.
Yeah.
I only have a scout of 2, so
Scout
It's
of
versus
2.
test.
Yeah, we need as much as we can.
Blue, what's your? You've been rather quiet. What's your scout?
Scout 2.
Scout 2. Okay, yeah. It's Erna.
Erna's the best scout. What about is regrouping with other mice and following mice tracks to meet up with them a particularly mousy thing to do, or is that?
Mice don't generally hunt other things. They forage,
Oh,
but they do not hunt things.
fair enough. I was
so
wondering if
it's,
it was
not a
with
mousy
other
thing.
mice.
Wait a minute. Isn't your nature at like 6?
Yes,
Should
I like
you
it
try
being
and-
at 6.
Yeah.
But if it goes any higher,
I'm not at risk of that right now.
Mhm.
I've got some time.
Yeah, you need 11
Okay.
tests to even get close to that.
oh,
I'm only
what
at
the
2.
hell?
Yeah, because in order to get it to 7, you would have to pass 6 times and fail 5 times.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, he's fine. Never mind. You have fun.
Nice.
Oh, Moxie. Moxie's like she's down here on the floor, and I'm just petting her.
Aw.
So that's why I keep ducking down, because there's a beautiful kitty down there.
I've heard many things.
Yes, she's the
Moxie's very pretty.
She's the sweetest baby. Oh. I can't spend the entire stream down there.
Petting a
It's
cat,
very
yeah.
upsetting. Roll
Just
your
lower the camera.
dice.
All right. Yes. So I have a dice pool currently of
There you go.
4. What should anything else you can add to it? Because that's a high.
It's you will add traits or a wise if you have an appropriate wise or trait.
I don't. Does anyone else have a helping skill for that?
Actually, yeah, you guys need to figure out what helping dice you're gonna get.
So I've got 4 right now. I got Pathfinder might help. Hunter might help.
Pathfinder, Hunter, and Scout, I would say.
Well, I've got Hunter.
Anybody else?
I have, Pathfinder or what?
Or Scout.
Somebody else has Scout. I know Cedric has Scout.
I do have Scout.
And Blue has Pathfinder.
Yep.
So that's 7 dice currently.
That's 7.
Does anyone have an appropriate wise you can add to that? Can you add a second one?
I don't think I can add a wise, or can I add a wise for?
Why is that?
Yes,
If-
so a wise can be used as helping dice.
But if it's Arcane's role,
Yes, it can still
Okay.
help because you're
Okay.
wise.
okay. So in this case, what about Predator wise? Since we're gonna be out in the wilds, and I need to keep watch for specific predators, not to fall on
Yes.
us when we're looking around.
That's
Clever,
helpful.
and then we have Cedric is hiding hole wise. You should
Okay,
pick
yeah.
this up. So that's 9.
Not bad.
I think that's what you're shooting for. Boom! Gotcha.
5. You did get me. Okay, so you start following these tracks, heading further east. You get to actually the plains down here because they start to twist down south all of a sudden. And as you start following them, the tracks start to, they don't diverge, but they start to sort of get harder to follow. And it's sort of, you realize that they're trying to cover their tracks in some form of fashion. But of
nice.
course, you are astute at this method. And you begin to sort of like weave your way from hidey place to hidey place, keeping an eye out for predators and such, until you start to reach this southern tip. Now, you did have on your maps that further down south there was a foxhole. And there is a fox that sort of roams this region down here.
Can I just confirm with these people that these are the wild mice and I would know this?
It's one of your prompts that you can give them, yes.
Yes, guys, these are wild mice. I can guarantee you.
No, I
as a
believe you.
Fact. Do we really need to go and see them at the moment?
I'm half curious how they knew that you buried.
So am I. But this
Now-
is not the time for it.
Now, you do eventually see that these tracks have something walking beside them. And from your predator-wise, Elric, you can clearly see that there is a fox that met them at some point.
Mhm.
Okay.
The destruction of the anthill would not have been quiet. It would have been loud, like, from my experience, it would not have been quiet. It would have been noticeable, because I remember that there was a fallout area around the explosion of the anthill.
I would
No.
say it was an explosion.
Well,
No.
It wasn't like an explosion, but it was
Nuke
something.
the anthill!
Even if this is
That's what it
unrelated,
felt like.
even if this is unrelated, I think it's worthwhile, to Chapter's point, to know if there are wild mice and fox working together.
We already know this.
Maybe communicate that, because I have no idea.
He did not have any idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elric.
I'll be
Elric
sure to
looks.
inform everyone next time.
Yeah.
But just so you guys know, yes, we know this.
Based on what? Then do you know who these wild mice are?
I don't know who they are, but the fox and the mice are working together. And as I said, it's not an issue for right now. Right now, our main goal is to go and deal with the rabbit. These wild mice are not friendly. They are rather hostile and do not think fondly of me.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't think this was going to go in this direction. So I did not tell you guys about that. There was one session in particular earlier in this summer season where the mice in that patrol did encounter some wild mice that seemed to owe fealty to this fox. So apologies.
I remember
that
that.
would have been like
Mhm.
knowledge that you guys would work with. So I probably should have given that to you guys once this started going in that direction.
Well, we'll mark this down on the map for potential later missions. That is
Yeah.
But
either
you
something
do
Cedric
know-
can mention or the GM.
But you do know that these wild mice who owe fealty to this fox knew where to find the balls of chemical stuff and took them, possibly.
Yes.
So that means
Yeah.
that they're picking up on things somehow.
Oh dear.
We'll get
And
back to
Elric,
this later.
Elric
guys.
gets a thought in his head, and then whispers to Owen, "What if there's a mole in Tapper's Point?"
Oh god, that would be
Cedric, not Owen.
That's cool, man. I whisper back to Brams. I mean Elric.
All right, quick assessment. Rabbit negotiations, while important, I'm not
is
sure they
first and foremost. It
are.
was our mission
They,
given to us.
we do have a certain amount of discretion, if I may finish. Are they time sensitive? And if we do have the possibility that there is another group working directly against us, with the potential to sabotage us with the aid of the fox, is that more important to know right now?
I'd say not at the moment. I'd say we could spare a day. They would know that we would. They would know that we were on to them.
We could spare a day, however, they don't know that we found out if there is a mole in Tapper's Point. They don't know that we found that out yet.
This path won't be here tomorrow.
Exactly. That's a solid point because right now, because they'd pick up on our trail.
Well, not only that, if there's a mole, you'd know.
They look like a mole.
I know. Not a
Tell by the
mouse.
nose.
Oh my god, Axel, why?
I knew it was going to go there when I said there was a mole, but I was expecting it actually a lot faster from somebody.
You're pretty shrewd.
Oh, the puns are real.
I'm on a
I'm
roll.
just imagining a mole
Oh.
with like, taped on whiskers. I'm a mouse too, yes.
I'm not the
No,
mouse
listen.
god.
There's a mole that has that. There's a mole with like tentacle freaking things coming out of its
There
nose.
is.
It's the weirdest thing in
That's-
the world.
Yeah, it's a star.
Star-nosed,
Star
yeah.
nose. Yeah, and they're
Are
the
they in this
fastest
game?
sticking creature in the world.
Let me actually check. Continue while I look for an animal that should not exist.
Okay, so we need to figure out
Actually
something
the
quickly
fastest
because
sticking animal.
we're in fox territory right now.
If
I
we are
think
in
we
Fox
need to
territory-
get some landmark that we can base this trail off, and then coordinate with leadership later. Find a permanent landmark.
What?
Rabbits
I don't
leadership.
know. Yes, that's fine.
They're going off the
We
railroad.
need to I think this may be a rule, but we need to make sure that there is a way to get rid of our trail.
Oh,
Mm,
that's true.
yes.
That would probably take. Oh, I wonder if that's survivalist or scout. Survivalist, probably.
Survivalist.
I'd
Yeah,
probably say survivalist, yeah.
yeah.
I
I
have
think
a
that would
survivalist of
work
3
well
and
as
I will throw-
survivalist.
I would go into survivalist, and I am willing to throw all of my persona into that.
Are you a good survivalist?
I'm not good for dice rolls.
So here's
As a
how
whole?
I'll do the survivalist. The number of successes that you make will be the obstacle for any check that they will do to locate the tracks.
Are we allowed to explode?
Sure.
Hiding your path from predators. That is a mousy thing to do.
Hiding.
That's
I
true.
say
Hiding.
I have hidey hole eyes.
Technically, you are correct.
Can I bend it?
Hiding is a part of mouse nature, so I would allow this for
Okay.
a mouse.
So
Sweet.
you give me hidey hole eyes, and I take.
Who's rolling here?
I could
Couldn't
roll.
You could use your if you're doing that. Couldn't you use your nature
guys do
to
this,
assist in the roll?
I'm gonna go to the
That's what I was
bathroom and
thinking.
fill up my coffee. Be right back.
Yes.
I'm going to go and get myself a drink of water.
All right.
Alright.
But if you're going to
They're
take
off
this
the
arcane,
rails.
yeah, are you going to use your nature to
Even if I could use the nature as the base thing, because it's hiding
Well,
tracks and such.
yeah, and this way you won't have to burn a fate or burn a nature on it rather.
Exactly.
You
That's
still have to
my.
burn a persona, but
Yeah, I can afford a persona for this.
so hi guys. Looks like it's just me. It's me and the arcane show. For a little
Yeah,
while.
we got Blue here still.
Yeah, Blue's here still. That's true. But Blue's been so quiet.
That's because, as far as Blue's concerned, we've been completely off task the entire time, and he's old and curmudgeonly and not happy.
You should have voiced his curmudgeonly opinion on the matter.
As far as Erna's concerned, she's operated so long by herself that if there's choice pieces of info, she knows that headquarters often cares more about that in the moment.
Now Elric's got it in his head that there's a a spy
Yeah,
in
I'm very
Tapper's
careful.
Point. So that's a bit of a problem. And whether or not, it would make perfect sense considering they managed to pick up on. Is that where you were heading in your line of thought when you were saying that earlier, Arcane?
Yeah, I suspect there may be some concerns in the future. I don't think all is as sustainable as we think it is. Specifically, if we have wild mice that are playing both sides.
Well, that's exactly it. So, and we have to, if there is a spy, we're gonna have to root that person out.
Oh, Blue's been 100% sure that
Hi.
the Mutter twins have been kind of double dealing the whole time.
Well, that would make sense.
That would make sense.
They are Mutter twins. I mean, they're gonna want to we're invading their territory, so of course they're gonna want us out. But
This
Is it
session
just the
brought
two
to
of
you
them?
by-
I don't think so.
Twins
There's a
from this summer.
yeah,
like
there's
6
a lot of
at
them.
least.
Yeah.
So what have we established?
We've established that there is a significant possibility of a spy with the Mouse Guard.
Okay.
Either with the Mouse Guard or with some of the civilian or wild mice entourage
Please let it be
around
Quincy.
I don't think Quincy fits, to be perfectly honest.
But wouldn't it be great if suddenly he fell in love with one of the mice and was like, but my interests are betraying me. I can no longer deal with you folk. Wouldn't it be swell? Four is gonna. I hate the fact that Four missed that. Four, you just missed the best ship of all time.
Or did he? Keep forgetting
Hi.
Noodles in the same house.
Hi.
Okay, so is this something that has to be on a survivalist, or can the nature to hide the tracks fit as well?
It can be nature or survivalist.
Can someone assist me with survivalist?
Wait, what does nature do? I remember there being something where you can re-roll all fails.
That would be Fate, I believe. Right? 4?
Or
For what?
re-rolling all fails.
That is Persona. Fate only does
Persona.
one. And
It
it
only
has
does
to
one,
be
okay.
related to your wise.
It has to be related to your wise. That's hidey hole wise.
Alright, so if you contribute Heidi Holewise, and someone contributes
I can't.
survivalist,
I'm saying if you give it to me, I will use one persona to reroll fails, the other persona to have 2 additional dice, use my survivalist of 3, or my nature of 3 rather.
alternatively, if both Brahms and Axel contribute 1 helping dice from relevant skill, and you contribute your Heidi Holewise, and I play 1 persona, I'd have a dice pool of 15.
Well, didn't... This
Which is
for
going to
what
hit you a
action?
lot more
This
than
is-
reroll all fails.
I say we go with the dice pool of 15.
Is this still for hiding our tracks?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, I mean, I would... Obviously, Hunter would still help in that case, because we're trying to be not hunted. So I'm gonna be like, well, this is basically like reverse engineering.
This is how
hunting.
you would. This is how something would avoid me.
Yes.
Uh,
And can he use a community persona to reroll all fails?
I've got 2 already. I think we'll be okay.
Okay, but my question is, can he? 4?
I think it's good. I think you're good.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll be okay.
You're setting a high obstacle, so that's...
Yeah.
Yep.
Blue, do you have a like survivalist you could contribute?
He's got survivalist.
All right, so that's 15. Let's do it. Boom.
8 successes, and we can use a persona to reroll fails.
If you want to.
I think I'm pretty
Do
happy
it.
with that, to be honest.
Just reroll them because you can. There's no harm in
I
not
only
doing
have-
it. This is the most
It's 8,
power.
it's
I remember
8 successes. That is an obstacle 8. I have never thrown you guys an obstacle 8. But if you want
Right.
to
They
spend a
only go-
persona point, you can.
That's what I'm saying. It's
I'm-
worth the extra persona point.
I'm satisfied.
I will donate a persona point if that works. Of my own. I'm
You
determined.
did not roll. So you
Fine.
cannot.
Fine.
You guys begin to sort of cut off your trail from them. Do you backtrack to get most of your stuff taken care of? At least in this region.
I wanted to get a sense of at least the where we suspect the endpoint of the trail is headed.
Endpoint. The endpoint of the
Just-
trail clearly goes southeast.
Basically to where the fox is.
we
Yes, and the fox tracks meet up with the mice tracks.
I think that's good enough, to be
Only
perfectly
get our
honest.
tracks back to where we can then branch and go back the way we're supposed to go.
Yeah, that's a smart idea.
I suggest we head over to the rabbit warrens then, if everyone's happy with that, because
Yep.
not messing with foxes and an indeterminate number of wild mice.
Yes, that would be swell. I'm still here, don't worry.
I am all for that.
Rabbit warrens it is.
Alright, so you guys are heading towards the rabbit warrens, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as you go there, put this
I'm just saying, if something finds reverse engineers one of those balls, fills it with predator bait, and lobs it at attacker's point, they're all dead.
It's true.
Wow.
But you start heading towards the hillsides where the rabbit warrens you were told where these rabbits dwell. And as you sort of move along in this region, it is a little scary because it's open sky above you. There's not a lot of hidey places out here, but it, at least for the moment, doesn't seem as though there's a lot of, I would say, threats. But you do see nearby at the peak of one of these hills, there is at least 6 or 7 rabbits just sort of hopping around and grazing on some of the various pieces of delicious dandelions and other things that lie on this hill.
They're adorable.
What is the name of the rabbit we're supposed to speak to?
Either Holly or Werner.
Gotcha.
At least.
Yeah.
Which one was Holly? Shouldn't we be speaking with one of the other Muller twins first?
The Mutter twins. Actually,
Muller twins?
I don't think you were supposed to.
There was one that was like you could talk to him and you could talk to the deer.
Oh, that was
Or something.
Cutter. You guys already talked to him, though.
Yeah, we already talked to
Oh, okay, my bad. Alright.
You just have to pass an obstacle 2 lore mouse check to communicate with these rabbits. Do you speak
Oh.
rabbit?
Hi. Am I the only one who has lore mouse? Please tell me someone has it.
Nope.
He is.
I've been training
Oh,
it,
you-
but I don't have it.
I have it. I have 2 lure mouse.
But
You
I'm
have 2
old,
lore
so I
mouse?
can use
I
that
have
one.
2 lore mouse. Well, looks like Erna is gonna be our dice mule. So-
Why?
Because
Oh,
you
boy.
roll better than Cedric. Anyone rolls better than Cedric.
Does anyone have anything to contribute?
I actually don't know.
Lore
Are you
mouse.
wise?
Lore mouse, definitely not. For talking to rabbits, no. You can't use predator wise, unfortunately. But any other wises, maybe? Hunter works. Hunter, oddly enough, works.
Yep. Then
Okay.
I can assist with Hunter.
Scientist as well.
Okay. Then if you
Never
give,
mind, I'll contribute with Scientist, and then
Yeah.
if someone else can contribute with Lore Mouse.
I think
I
you're the
can
only one.
roll lore mouse. You contribute scientist.
I contribute Hunter.
Yes.
Blue, do you know how to talk to?
I will not be contributing on this one at all because I don't have any of the skills.
All right. For
Blue.
does anyone have a wise?
Unfortunately,
but
they're
that's for
already
nice.
helping with skills, so
Okay.
those are the only ones that would help. Only 1 helping dice per mouse.
Gotcha. So for 4d6 is what we're looking at. Obstacle 2.
Do you have any traits you want to use against your 4?
Hmm. I may. I think I'm inquisitive.
Hey.
Inquisitive. Yeah, I'd allow it.
Yes, I'll blow that. Heck.
So 5, and you need 2 successes.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to communicate with these guys, without. I don't know a bunny pun, so I'll just continue. These rabbits, all of them are sort of this coarse brown color, and they're hopping around. They do notice you guys, but they do not immediately set into panic. You just notice that they sort of straighten up a bit once they see you guys roaming around, and then they get back to munching on some of the thick weeds, and you know how they eat. It's adorable. And you approach one of them, I guess, and what do you say?
I will ask for. I will ask if I can speak to Holly or Werner if they know where they are.
And upon hearing this, it's sort of like I guess begins to. I'm trying to think of a voice. I'm sorry.
Hello.
What's up, Doc?
No! Get that out of the stream! Oh no!
Copyright.
Copyright! No, Twitch, please. This rabbit sort of tilts its head and then hops off without a word, and then it sort of ducks down into a nearby hole in the ground, and then you see another rabbit come up. This one hops over to you very docilely, and she says, "Oh, hello, and what would you like?"
That's a swell voice.
My name is Ollie. Who are you?
My name is Erna. We were sent from Tapper's Point.
More mice. It's good that I'm talking to you because Werder is very mad at you. At least mice in general.
Mice in general? Is there something happened?
Oh yes. Some of our youngins had a little run-in with that cursed weasel.
Oh, I'm sorry. That sounds terrible. Are they okay?
Oh. And she just looks down sadly. One of my own. Fortunately could not run fast enough after the weasel has her jaws on you, ripped her to shreds.
Terribly
That
sorry. to
is
hear
horrendous.
Yes. And all for a little tomfoolery. Oh.
We were wondering if there were anything we could help with. We know that there have been previous stalls and discussions, talk of joining forces on particular issues, and we were hoping that we could start with a clean slate and see if we could help with any of the other threats. Maybe something we could assist with.
She sort of thumps her foot on the dirt, and you can feel the vibration, the pound of it, and says, "Maybe there's a few bad things roaming our hills. Fox, always a concern. The snake and its kin. And of course, the skies open, deadly. Oh, Gamora, that foul falcon. And
We could
worst
build
of
a
all, we're out here in the open, where we graze happily. We sit and wait to see if our burrows are to be invaded. At the very least, the weasel is gone. Haven't seen her face in a long while.
I'm going to ask. I want to take a look at my map, and I'm going to see if I can identify where in the threats they have these predators. Essentially, are they cut in the middle of several of them, or are they all mostly one side or the other?
Now you would not be able to know where the oh gosh, what is it? The
Falcon
hawk
snake?
lives. There doesn't seem to be any relevant. There's only been sightings of the hawk. You wouldn't know where she or he or it make their nests. The snake, you would imagine snakes are quite common around this area, considering the proximity to various prey. That would be quite a harrowing threat, because snake can just slither into your hole and eat your babies if you're not keeping watch.
Wow.
Yeah. But other than that, fox, there's a lot of places for the fox to hide and jump out. At the very least, the rabbits have the high ground to hopefully see if it is on its way. But you get the idea that the rabbits can make it into their burrows safely enough, only if they have a warning. So you think that if the rabbits had some sort of like better means of alarm, or something like that, that's a good deterrent. But otherwise, it's really up to you. I mean, you could just kill all the animals that try to kill them. We'll just kill
would be
all
nice
your
if we could.
predators.
Yeah,
Just need
that'll work.
a
And then it
mouse to-
won't overpopulate. What are you talking about?
The concern is obviously, besides the fact that would be incredibly difficult, is that indeed they would unbalance the region.
Yes.
I think what might be more feasible, other than if this was just a particularly dangerous area where they have no cover, moving them might be difficult. But I think some kind of constructed alarm system and possibly warrened hole covers that could block the snake from getting in open
That's
might work.
a really good idea.
Potentially bells and strings so that any sightings at any other area will ring the bells in the rest of the warren.
This is really complex. However, I feel
That's
like
what mice do. That's what we have to make ourselves valuable for.
So what I'm thinking is we could ask to see if we could get a group of mice, like a small crew, to assist in building just a little. It won't be too complex, but an alarm system for these rabbits.
Mhm.
It might not require a crew. I don't know how this works. It could just be a few, like maybe 3, but still, it would require some. Like it would require a few people.
We'd need to bring back supplies, but I
Yeah.
think even we might be able to break up something with some ideas.
Yep.
That and you're in the wild country. There's a lot to scavenge.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yep.
I will raise the possibility to Holly and see if she's amenable.
She sort of nods in her rabbit way. More like her nose twitching sort of relaxes. And she says, "That's a smart thing for a mouse to say. Of course, we don't know how all that works. You'll have to make a persuader check to sort of convince her this is a good course of action.
I could explain it.
That could be
Maybe.
your helping dice.
Yeah, okay, I'd say we go with that.
Yeah, I think
This-
that's the best call.
Who
Since
has
you're
it?
the one
Persuader?
talking, you have to make the persuader.
I have persuader.
Unless we want Cedric to do that. Because he
I
also
have
has
Orator, not a Persuader.
You can start learning Persuader.
Oh god.
I don't think now's
So
the
you
best
have
time.
no dice.
No, sir.
Yeah.
I dictate. I don't persuade.
You could dictate it to the I don't know.
The
you
whole
could-
of the mice.
or the whole of the
Or
rabbits.
The whole
maybe.
of the rabbits, thank you. Because rabbits
Actually,
are
yeah,
generally abundant.
She actually, I forgot this little tidbit. She says, "That's a good, nice idea, but I'm not the one who gives you the say. The Warren must hear and decide. We have nothing like you mice have.
Mhm.
It is the Warren that decides, not I."
The Warren is.
Warren would be the group, so
Yeah.
we have to.
A meeting.
Hey, Mr. Orator, how's it going?
How is your persuade? Because my Orator is only 2 anyways.
I'm only 2 on Persuade, and I would not recommend you being the voice of reason or the dice roller.
Yeah, and actually this will be an orator because you guys are going to
Here.
be taken down
Yeah.
into the burrow to sort of bring this idea to them.
I have a question. Can I
Yeah.
speak with any of the young mice and just get to know one or young rabbit? Not
I was about to
mice,
say,
I'm sorry.
I'm glad that you see all animals as mice, though. That's very inclusive.
Let me give you a little tip there, Cedric. You can tell the older rabbits from the younger ones that they have a bit of hair on their chest.
Thanks for the help.
You're welcome.
Not my point. Anyways, I'd like to speak with some of the younger rabbits just to get some information on the place.
Okay. I feel like you'll be able to talk to them, but really they're more curious about you. So
Okay.
I think you'll get one question in, but then it's going to be all about like, oh, where are you from? What's going on out there in the West? What's the
And I
life like
gladly
where you
answer.
live?
I like those. I like
Okay.
answer. So I will ask them. Oh God, what would you guys want to know? How often do you guys deal with snakes?
Oh, a lot. Oh, Werner kicks him a lot. He sort of like finds him and he bites him and he stomps on him like grr, grr, grr. And they start like kicking the ground and sort of like doing a little hop as they do so. And then they
Right.
start chasing each other and they get too far for you to ask any questions.
Okay.
But Holly sort of noses you, Erna, and says, if you want, I can get all of them down into
Mhm.
the burrow, and we can have a talk with the
I
warrior.
think that's a good idea.
That's good. You're a funny little mouse.
I spent a fair time away from other mice, so I understand how it can be out here when you don't have a lot else to rely on.
Alright, so what do you guys do? As you are being sort of guided down into the dark, very rabbit-smelling burrow.
I'm
I have
wondering.
one question. Oh, you go ahead. You first.
All right. Well, I was just wondering if Blue or Elric had anything they might be able to contribute to the situation.
Nope. I mean, I've got a predator wise, but I mean, rabbits being a natural predator.
No, but we're talking about defenses against predators.
I suppose we are, yeah. So I mean, we
think we
could contribute a wise.
Blue can help with Orator himself as the hype man.
The hype
He's
man.
the MC.
Either way works for me. I have.
I can be innocent.
So I mean, Hunter would also work in that case if you need a contributing dice.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't have
I think you can only contribute one.
you can only
I'm frustrated.
contribute one dice.
Yeah.
So
Which between Heidi Holewise, Hunter, and Orator.
We're
I
at
don't
our
think
max
Heidi
for that.
Holewise will work for this.
I think it would because I would know what guards a hole as well as
This
what.
is a hidey hole. This is
Yeah,
defenses
this
for
is a
hidey.
hidey hole.
For the purpose of like what you're gonna do, I would say scientist.
Okay, scientist.
That works.
And Blue, you're helping with Orator, right?
Yep.
Okay. So
You would have like bottles or something, right, Cedric? Supplies, anything
That's for
really.
4. That's for 4 to decide.
bottles, what?
I mean, just anything that would rebuild again the area that would be able to make a noise just as part of a demonstration.
Oh,
I have a stick.
some of your weapons?
Do you have a dagger and shield? I have a stick.
I don't think you
If
guys
anyone has a
have
shield.
anything of that sort. But if you,
I can whistle.
There's certainly some stuff at Tapper's Point.
We could whistle. We could all collaboratively whistle.
Not really the idea, though. I could use rocks. They have rocks down here.
They
Yeah,
do.
there
They
you
do.
go. Rocks.
All right, I think we can make
Hey,
it work.
what's this big metal sheet? Bong.
All right.
Go for it.
So what do you guys do? You are brought down into the cold depths of the burrow, and there's one large dome underground that they have sort of dug out. That sort of fills up very quickly with all of the rabbits who make this warren their home.
I have a new friend.
Oh, Sin Pureblood, thank you for following, buddy. And you guys are sort of taken to the front of this large room, and beside you is another rabbit that you don't know, and his paws are very like covered in like dirt. You can see like the little like claws that he has have been like digging furiously as of late. And he sort of like sniffs each of you in turn, and then he says, "Oh, you're here to speak to the Warren, are you?"
Yes, we have an idea
Yes.
that may be able to keep some of your young safe against the predators in the region.
That's curious, because most mice do not care about us rabbits.
Are you kidding? We absolutely love you.
Oh, of course, I'm speaking of the selfish Mutter twins.
Oh. Yeah, we're not
I wouldn't worry
affiliated with them.
about
Oi,
that. In this case, we're speaking for ourselves.
I
And in
see.
this case, we wanted to demonstrate that we are here in order to help against the predators, because we understand the kind of situation you would be going through.
I see. But I know you mice operate very forward manner. What is it you hope to get out of my warren? Of the warren? He quickly corrects himself.
Yeah, sure he does. I would say that we wanted to reset previous relations. We didn't want to let other people speak for us any longer, and we wanted to demonstrate that any future collaborative relationships are on even ground. Just a sign of respect for one another.
Alright. He
Holy hell.
sort of gives a nod, and then sort of looks out to the rest of the assembled rabbits and says, Warren! Rabbits, hares, and all, these mice seek to abuse our kindness, I'm certain. But perhaps it is of use. Speak your part. Let the Warren decide. Time for that orator check.
So first, possibly as an aid, I'm going to disassemble my hook and line to keep the hook on the wall, run the line over it, and I'm going to tie 2 rocks together at the end there. So that when you pull on one end, the rocks clack together, no matter how far it is that you're pulling them from.
Cool.
We'll set that up beforehand as a visual aid.
I'm gonna say because
That's really clever.
that's gear, it'll give you a +1.
Make it work. Hook and line.
I can throw a
always
stick in the
useful.
middle.
Alright.
Throw a stick.
So I've got the Warren ready to roll. How many dice do you have?
Alright, so I had Orator, I had one for the equipment bonus. I don't know if this
All three of us
deals
can
with not only with the alarm, but also the hatches that could go down to keep snakes out. Could I possibly add Trapwise to this as kind of a device?
Oh, heck yes. That sounds like it would work.
Or
Sorry, what was that?
I was hoping, because it's a device designed to protect you, like hatches that could keep snakes out.
Yeah.
And the alarm, could I add Trapwise? So I don't often get to use it.
Yes. You
That
certainly
sounds
can.
really smart.
Okay.
So you have your
So,
gear and your wise helping with this.
So that's my 4, and then Blue was thinking of contributing Ordor, Elric with Hunter, and Cedric with Scientist, right?
Yep. I could science the shit out of this.
And then I could add 1 Fate, and if Persona reroll fails.
Okay.
So I think that's about as good as I'm getting.
Alright, I'm gonna roll for the Warren. Are you kidding me?
this shouldn't
1
be too hard.
success. Alright.
Alright. We make latch that help keep animal out.
That's why
And
you
they
spend
go,
Persona
"Ooh."
reroll fails, kids.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
You get stage fright.
Gotcha.
And then you immediately recover. Okay.
From
That
0
was
to hero.
almost the worst.
Okay, so here's the thing. I imagine that you start to get ready to talk, and then like you see all the rabbits out there looking at you, and you realize if this goes bad, they're gonna kick the shit out of me. And not just me, the entire patrol.
Oh my god.
And then Old Blue, I guess you get him started off, or you sort of get him out of this stage fright.
Punch him in the arm.
Yeah, pretty much the hype man do it like
Steps
add a
up.
dramatic flair to everything he says, but that moment when he does that out, he like steps up and does like an introduction for him real quick before he.
Excellent. So you present your case. Brahms, Owen, what do you guys do to sort of, or Dragon or Geon, or rather your characters, what do you do to sort of help influence this orated explanation of what he wants to do with the Warren?
I science the shit out of the rocks and make fire and fireworks.
Well,
Kidding.
I'm gonna say you
kidding.
make a demonstration.
You make it work.
Figure A. Brom.
Elric would do a similar demonstration, but he would actually, in this case, he would, go over how certain predators would be deterred from going towards the warren, and also how the alarms would drive them away.
I like to think you also do a demonstration. But you
As
just
seen by this bell
you
here.
slither on the ground, and then you act out. That's how you help with Hunter. You just pretend. It's rabbits. They're simple folk.
It's like
I'm the door. I just like lay on the ground until he comes near and just go up.
But Erna, how do you sort of sway these rabbits at last to follow this train of thought?
The key case here that hit them most recently is the fact that they've lost young, and this is the breeding season when their children are going out exploring the world. And the fact is that, well, the region around them.
I got
and
a
if
new
you had a
friend.
setup like this, they could go out, but stay close enough that if any of the adults see danger, any of the children in any of the other regions would hear this and be able to get to safety. So you don't always have to be on top of them because they're kids, they're going to get out, but this way they'll know wherever they are.
Okay. Mark a pass on your orator. And from there, the Warren starts to chat amongst each other, and then you hear a series of thumps. And very soon, the ceiling starts to drip with excess dirt as they thump very hard on the floor. And the roots above tremble, and Werner, the expert Warren burrower, sort of declares, "The Warren agrees. The Mice Tapper's Point may come and go and speak with us, so long as you can make this work. But we agree to these terms."
I will
Yay.
not respectfully and thank him.
And that's Game Master's turn. So, it's your player's turn. You've successfully gotten on the friendly side with these rabbits. You guys have one check each, and you also have one extra check earned
Yes.
for the player's turn. So go ahead and do what you like.
Okay, can I make one right now?
What's that?
Okay. Old Blue, I need your assistance. So, see here, Blue, I have a problem with...
Here.
Sorry. I have a problem with Guard Captain Quincy. And it's not anything severe, but it's something that I would really like to put to rest as fast as I can. So I had an idea that was kind of, it'll make things easier. I was thinking of making a small boat. Just not like a full-size boat. I mean like a little model called the SS Friendship. Just so I can get my message across to him. Because I have the same... The reason why his flowers are the same as my cloak is because he seems to have got... He seems to think that I have some sort of hots for him. And I don't. And I really want to end that fast.
Blue? What do you say?
Blue kind of gives him a funny look and kind of pulls up his own cloak, and he's like, "Oh, I thought it was."
Thought it was what?
What color is your cloak, Blue?
Navy blue.
It's blue.
Navy blue.
Baby blue.
Oh.
Navy
Oh.
blue.
Navy blue.
That's the same as mine.
Exactly.
No, I'm sorry. You're really cool, man. But that's not what it was.
I don't know. That's him saying it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyways, tell you what, he'll get a better chance if you help me out with this.
Well, we already have a ship. So
Wait,
if you
what?
want to make like a little rowboat for it or something. that'd be
No, it's not
awesome.
anything big. It's something that he can fit in his desk, like literally a model.
Oh. So you want a boat in a jar?
Kind of thing. That would be
I'm just
swell.
going to interject briefly and say that the motivation is behind giving him this is to
What do you
convince him
want?
you don't have the hots for him.
I was talking to Blue.
Okay.
Sorry. Like,
Oh snap!
Just know a
I
thing
don't
or two
actually
about
want this the
romance.
most sassy thing. I'm sorry. I'm just like, nope. It's gonna be me and him, because I need his help and his help only.
I mean, that's easy enough. We could build a little boat for you to give to your boyfriend.
The point of this is the fact that it says friend. But okay.
It's not how that works.
Well, then why are you trying to give him a gift if you're not trying to woo him? I don't get it. Back in my day,
Just-
when you give a boy, another boy, a nice boat,
No.
it means you like him.
Oh god, it's just an idea. I have a plan. I have kind of
So
plan.
you want Blue to make a baby boat that you can
Can we-
give to
Oh
Quincy?
no.
Can we rename this the courtship?
The what?
Oh my god!
What did he say?
The courtship!
No, no, we can't.
Yes, you can!
No, please, I have a plan.
It's obstacle 2, Blue.
Well, Blue can definitely make this little ship for him. He can. But we have to talk about I don't know you that well, by the way, so can't do this just charity.
Okay, what would you like?
What can you offer?
I offer you a good romantic chance with this man that you seem to have interest in.
I'm not the one making the boat.
But you were the one who thought the flowers were for you.
I thought he just liked the color. I mean, it's a very nice cloak. Once I got the blood out, of course.
He would have made them like red. Okay. Alright. If that isn't the case. Oh my god, what could I possibly offer?
I like
I'm
that
a
you
scientist.
immediately were like, I'll set you up on a date.
I don't know.
I mean, hey, Blue, you can make demands. This is a check that you have to roll. That means you're at risk of getting a condition. What do you want from him?
Well, Blue is the child of a legitimate import-export family. So he knows his way around haggling.
That's
Okay.
So let's see. What is Cedric like? What is his job? What does he do?
I'm a scientist and a healer. However, that means that I can make, things that'll help you sleep, things that'll help you with your internal organs, things that'll help you. It's called. Moving on. Anyways, I can help you with conditions. I can help. I can help. I can help.
I make your little boat for you, and we hold off on the UOB.
Absolutely. Is there any way that I can assist you in the creation of this boat?
Scientist?
Possibly. Do
Scientist,
you know your way around the woodwork?
I believe. Wait, no, scientist. Hang on. Oh god, I have scout. A good scout. No, that's scavenger, and I know it. I don't have anything.
Scientist is the
forage
only
for
one that I would
materials.
say would help.
Okay, then scientist it is. I'll put scientist towards it. I go to Arcane
Yes.
after this thing, and I'm like, hey, I was wondering if you could help me make a small boat. Just a trivial trinket.
Oh, I don't want to get involved in anything that isn't any of my business.
Oh, yes. Good.
I'm gonna go talk to
Or
Snapback.
Thumper.
Before I simultaneously hate and love you. Damn it. Okay. Alright.
Alright, well,
What do you guys do? I want some dice.
I got Boatcrafter 2. I'm using my Sailing Wise for that. And I'm getting help from...
From Cedric with his scientist.
Yep.
Alright, so that gives me 4 dice.
I can science the shit out of it.
Yeah, I think you're all set. It's just obstacle 2.
Can I use my leader trait to kind of help him through this process of helping me, basically, like teaching him how to do it himself, maybe?
That would make sense.
I allow that, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh my god, please tell me you have a fate. You don't even have... You can't
No,
even fate.
you can use a fate point to reroll one of those dice.
Oh my god, please.
Persona has to be declared beforehand.
No, because this is a reroll. So, and he has Sailing Wise. So I'd say you can use a fate point to reroll 1 dice.
Oh god.
I will try that.
Okay. Oh man.
I have a new friend.
There we
Oh,
go.
thank God.
The boat has set. The ship has set sail. Magical
Thank
guide,
God.
thank you for following. All right, so you guys take this moment to sort of converge and chip away at this little boat. You sort of have the opportunity to sort of like do this. And what, Blue? What do you carve? Do you carve a name into the boat?
S friendship, please.
This is quite a nice ship, and the boat isn't half bad either.
Well, when it comes to the boat,
You did.
it's gonna be
I hate
the
you. That
size
was
of it.
amazing.
It's gonna have the word friend on it. It's gonna have friend.
Friend.
There's gonna be a large space before friend so that it can be filled in later. In case.
Okay, that's fine. This is fine.
And without telling Cedric, the sail on the boat is going to have a heart on it when it unfurls. But it's gonna stay
No!
furled until after he gives it to him.
I hate you. I
Okay.
hate you with all
Okay.
every fiber of my being.
Okay. So there we go.
This is
No.
Blue is the sailor of love.
This is the way it has to be.
Blue, why? You sailor man.
He's just helping you set sail on the stormy seas of love.
No! Oh man. Okay, Quincy better turn out to be like the fucking top tier boyfriend kind of guy, or I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Oh man,
Anyways.
you're in for it. A storm.
You.
Okay, so that's 1 check down. Bron,
Oh my God,
Brahms wanted Elric to go ahead and recover from a condition. So I'm gonna roll his health to sort of recover from tire.
Ooh.
And he's gonna use
What's
one of
that?
his traits to help himself, which is Guard's Honor. He's gonna,
Can I
like all
make him
guards should,
something?
take a rest. And he succeeds!
Okay, I was gonna say I could help him.
Actually you can't with Tire.
I would like some assistance recovering from my Hungry and Thursday.
Yo, I'm not a cook, but I can go to the tavern keep and be like, yo, hey, you feel like helping me out?
The rabbit tavern.
The
Rabbit tavern. I don't
That's
know.
not what I meant. I thought we were back at Tapper's Point.
You were not back at Tapper's Point, but it is an obstacle 1 harvester, cook, brewer, baker, or resources check. So you can actually barter with some of these rabbits if you want. If you want to roll just an obstacle 1 resources.
I have a new friend.
That's 3 dice.
Give me food, I'll help you out.
That's a good odds. Does anyone have anything they could add to that?
If they want to, I don't know if you can get helping dice for this, unless.
Is this something I could forage with nature, or?
Actually, yeah, you could. It technically doesn't say that you can forage with nature, but I would allow it.
If you do, hang on. If you search for food, I have hidey hole wise, and rabbits hide their food.
That's
I don't want to
true.
steal from them.
Yeah, you could just barter with them if you want with your resources, or you can. Or you can leave and go search for food.
I think my odds of foraging are better, personally.
Okay.
I want to go back to Tepper's Point. I need to
Yeah, we can do that on the way back, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I think we should head back since we're down a couple people and early steps are going well. We need to coordinate.
Before we leave, I need to hug a rabbit. Do I need to roll for it?
You would have to roll for it. It would probably be. I've never had this sort of roll pop up, so go ahead. Do you want to like catch? Do you want to like sneakily hug it, or do you?
No,
want
I want
like,
to ask one for a hug.
You want to ask one for a hug? Okay. So here's what I would have to do. You would have to befriend one. Go ahead and make me a lore mouse check versus the rabbit.
Oh shit! I have a lore mouse of 2.
And the rabbits are using their nature.
And what's their nature?
Not to get hugged by strange mice.
Yes,
they're
exactly.
But their nature
you
is
could
6?
sort of like try to talk with them. Yeah, it's nature 6. Have you failed a lore mouse check yet?
I haven't.
Yeah, if you want, you can fail this one, and you can. That'll be what your fail to advance.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
do I straight up fail it, or can I roll for it? At least first to see. Oh, that's default.
Unless
fail.
you really want to hug this rabbit.
I do really want to hug this rabbit, but I don't think that.
Instead, you need to embrace failure.
You're hugging the wrong fluffer.
Barking up the wrong tree there, boyo.
Exactly.
There's no trees nor bark you can bugger.
First you came asking me for help, and now you're calling me names.
No, you're great, and I love you. Don't worry, you're fantastic.
Oh man, there's so much complications in this mouse's life right now, Erna.
Yeah, children. I'm not gonna.
I'll take it as a fail.
Okay. No, I want to see what you roll. Go ahead, roll your lore mouse.
You might get 2 6s.
Why? You sadistic person.
If you roll 2 6s, you could explode them.
Well, that's very true. 2d6 or 4. Nope. Yeah, no, that never happens. This is Cedric we're talking about. Right, so, what are you talking about?
So you try to ask around, and all the rabbits really disrespect you. They're really disrespectful, and they're really rude about it.
Harsh.
So you're angry.
Oh,
you have the condition angry.
That's really not what I need before I go speak with Quincy.
I know, right? So we have done 1, 2, 3, 3. So that means there's 2 left. Erna, there's yours, and then we have one last one.
Yes.
Yes, I'll take mine.
If someone could help me with angry.
Yeah, you would have to do that yourself. It's a will check, obstacle 2.
I actually have something I want to do. We have one left somewhere.
Yeah, go ahead and declare with what you.
I'm gonna forage right now. If that's okay.
Oh yeah, for hungry and thirsty. That's right. Do your thing. Right. You're able to sort of poke around the hills, and you're able to find a few little tidbits that mice can devour, and you go, tasty.
There we go.
I figure it's like a dandelion roots or something like that.
Ooh.
I will show them how to make dandelion tea. Our matriarch gave me the most delicious cup.
It's true!
I can teach them.
Good.
Oh, wait, can that affect their disposition towards us mice?
I can do it right now. I didn't bring a kettle.
You didn't.
My heart hurts. Okay.
But you know that they could make some here if you want to. You just have to set them up. But, Blue, what did you want to do?
After we get back, and after this foray is done, Blue wants to go visit Droomda.
Droomda, okay. So, by the way, this is the last check. So, all you guys finished with negotiating with the rabbits, you head back to Tapper's Point, and Blue, you make a stop at Drupda's hut. Drupda's hut it's changed. It is decked out in defenses, and it has also got a very fine roof over it. You do know that Tilly Antherd has been tending to it, and Tilly has been almost like Drupda's shadow for the past few days.
Alright.
But what do you want to do with Drupda?
He's gonna he's gonna hobble up to the edge of the territory so he doesn't, trip anything and holler for her. Oh man!
Oh my god. You see her sort of crawl out of the little doorway that she has. She sort of like squints out towards you, and just sort of like barks out, "What do you want home, mouse?"
I come to talk to you.
Well, I can hear you just fine. Talk. And you see that she sort of like has a paw on her head, just sort of like.
Now there's no love lost between me and your kind, but you've been good to us at the point, and I think we've done right by you as well. So I thought you should know we've been having dealings with those rabbits that dealt with you previously, and the leadership, while I disagree with this, has made it clear that if it came to it, they would choose them over you. Didn't come to that, but I felt it was important as a friend to tell you.
Hecking heck, I should be with him, but okay.
She is hunched over, but as you say these words, she sort of straightens up, and she tries not to let it show, but she's clearly not disturbed, but disheartened. And she calls out to you, "Actually, I think I can't hear you too well. You should come over."
I'm glad you can see me. Which, where's the safe route before I,
Oh, yes.
He kind of starts tapping around in front of him with his stick.
She sort of like just points out there's a pit right through the main way there. You gotta hop over here. And she sort of walks over, and she just sort of like lays herself over this like pit that's clearly concealed, and says, "It's right under here. You gotta go around." And then she sort of like paces around it.
Right, and he'll follow the instructions.
But you also see that there's like some like spears that she's made that have been like stabbed into the ground like all around the hut. Like she's expecting like if anything comes running at this place, it's gonna have a nasty time. But for a mouse, it's a lot easier for you to sort of make your way to the front of her little hut here.
Yeah, it seems like it's made for larger creatures.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
She ducks inside.
Then Blue will make his way in and talk to her.
Yeah. So you go inside, right?
Yep.
Alright, so she has now... I don't know if you've been to many of her other huts, but this one seems to have an explicit purpose. And you notice that she seems to have been trading with Tapper's Point a lot as of late, and she's been getting a lot of weird stuff. And it's pretty clear what her intention was, because there is a big pot and barrels, big barrels of some sort of liquid, and you see that she has bottled up some sort of brew, and there's like backpacks of this stuff that she can like carry around with her, but there's a whole shelf of bottled casks of this whatever she's making. And she sort of reaches over and she grabs a flask, this little water skin, and sort of hands it over to you. And she says, "You mice are good for something. Figured you might... once I make my leave. How soon do you think? Until you finally kick me out."
I don't think it'll come to that if we have our way. You know that some of us don't agree. You know that Pepperjack and Tilly and us, we don't agree with what they think. They're the leadership. They just sit in their buildings and do desk work. They're not out in the field. They don't know you.
She sort of shakes her head. Not clearly comforted by your words. And she just says, "Blue, you oughta get right with those mice. You belong with them. Especially that Tilly girl. Once I'm gone, she's gonna need someone to look after her."
My heart.
Can't say I know her too well, but she seems like all right today.
Well, it's like you said. It's my stay in that town. But I've seen this happen before. They're not gonna stay in there any longer. They're only in there because they feel safe there. They're gonna start pushing out. They're gonna start civilizing this land.
Oh, they'll try.
And
Try before. See how it goes.
There's no place for a woman like me this close. As sweet as this has been.
That's up.
Oh,
Not
sorry.
For me to decide. He's like, oh, there could be, but that's not really for us to decide. I guess when it comes down to it. And that's regrettable. That's the way things are. They haven't moved the scent border yet. This place isn't viable enough. Who knows how long it will be before it is. And I hope you can stay as long as you can until that happens. Because you've been a great help to us. Which is more than any other weasel I've ever met has done for me.
And, she is really quiet for a long moment. And then she just takes another, one of the flasks and just starts downing it. And, the sting of it sort of, like, brings back her bite. And she just sort of barks at you and says, "You got no interest here. The heck are you doing here anyways?"
That's where to say. Simple as that. He kind of takes a sniff of the stuff that she handed him, takes a drink himself.
It burns.
Burns good.
This is like some heavy alcohol that she's brewed. You get the strange sense that it's like some sort of mead that has gone wrong. Somewhere along the lines, it was sort of like made to just scorch down your throat.
He'll kind of, after he takes the quick drink, he'll be like, kind of exhale out his nose real quick and be like, my sinus hasn't been that clear in months. Kind of wheezing a little bit because it is burning and stuff.
Oh yeah. But she just sort of chuckles and says, "One thing you might have been good for is this old stock. I haven't gotten good brew a long time, not since my last husband. Not since the Fox." I should go.
I should go, actually. This is your house, so...
She just sort of shrugs and says, "Well, it'll be empty once I'm gone. If you want, you can keep it tidy for me.
Oh, gonna be leaving here soon?
Now that I know the rabbits are sort of in your circle, sooner or later they're gonna figure out I got a hut here.
From what I understand, the rabbits are staying where they are, and they've actually mentioned you. They said that they haven't seen you in a while, so they seem pretty happy about that, which, I mean, as long as they're out of your fur and then you're out of their fur, I guess it works out for everybody. But they've been having trouble with the hawk, which, that's everybody's problem, let's be honest here.
But she just sits down on this long cot that she's made. Everything in this hut is like handmade. Like, you saw this hut like rise up out of nothing. And now she's talking about leaving it. What do you want to do? You have a check. Did you want to spend that check here?
Oh, just kind of, I wanted to warn her, but I guess just use the check to kind of try to talk her into staying until she feels like she has to leave. I mean, this is quite the house now. Why leave? You just set up, you've got brew drip going, it seems like a nice life to live.
How do you want to do this? Which skill do you think is gonna work in your case? Because you could do this like straight old persuader, or you could do a haggler, in a sense.
He doesn't have persuader, but he could do, I think haggler is the only way he can really do anything with it. And then maybe, or that or orator, but making speeches is really what she wants. He's not gonna pontificate at her. But what he could say is that while this stuff is a bit strong, if she made something a little bit milder, definitely do some trade out of Tapper's Point.
She nods. That's gonna be hard. I don't like to do anything half.
I understand you there, but we could even just trade you for the stuff, water it down on our end, and then trade it out. I mean, Port would love this stuff. They like their grog. When you're out on the water for too long, you definitely need something that isn't seawater to drink.
True.
Out of character, I'm pretty sure we actually set up some lines before, C-Mac, right?
We did. We do have. You guys do have a trade path. They visit every once in a while. But yeah, no, she's she has it in mind, but she's preparing for the worst. That's all.
Yeah, he understands that.
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying to get her to stick around as long as because honestly, in Blue's opinion, he doesn't think the place will be viable before he dies. Like he does not believe that Tapper's Point will be inside the said border and viable before he's dead.
Yeah, it would have to be a check.
Alright, well, haggler it is then, I guess. Just use old fur on it, maybe? Just old.
Old. Yeah, go right ahead.
Alright, I'll just make that haggler check real quick. I don't have a whole lot of it.
I'm gonna check to see what she's gonna roll in opposition to you, because she is not as optimistic as you. Okay. Here we go. She got 2 successes. She is
gonna burn 2 persona points on this as well.
Okay. Wow. Alright. I'd say go ahead and mark a pass on your haggler. She is going to take your advice and see if she can water this stuff down so it doesn't murder you on the first drink.
The plus side of watering it down is it creates quantity.
True. Very true.
You can take 1 barrel and make 3.
Yeah! You've got it. But, did you want to do anything else before we close the session up?
No, that's pretty much it. Just spend some time there, talk to her, help her out if she needs it, then make my way back to my boat.
Alright.
We also need to report to Quincy.
Mm-hmm. I'd say you guys go ahead and tell me in the Discord how you handle that, because we are cutting it close on time since it's very, very late. So what I think we'll do is, if you guys want, we can maybe do a snack scene later in the week. But what I think we'll do is go ahead and do rewards really quick, and then we'll leave the session here for now. How about that?
Okay. I was thinking for the benefit of this. Yes, but I was thinking for the benefit of the stream, I should probably do my Quincy thing. For the benefit of the stream.
That's kind of a player's check, though. So
it is.
Is it? I'm just giving him a thing.
I'm just gonna go ahead and just like Arcane. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm still here.
Are you cool with us like holding off rewards for this Quincy thing?
It's up to you. I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah,
that's it up later.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. So how about we do rewards
Okay, we'll
first?
just do rewards.
Yeah, we'll do rewards, and then
stream. Oh, there we go.
Maybe during a different stream we can do your Quincy thing.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, next time you play.
It will be in my inventory.
Yeah!
If he ends up being the quest giver next time you play, you can just do it right there and then.
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome. But let's go ahead and do... words.
Arcane, are you okay, by the way? Are you
I'm
crying?
Okay. What?
It was
No,
so
I'm
beautiful.
I'm just laying down.
He's laying down.
Oh,
It's just a bit hot down here, that's all.
True.
listen, the only thing that's hot in here is me. Oh!
Your character is 16.
Your character's
Back up.
angry.
Also angry.
Also
It's
angry.
not a-
You're
not
You're
a
an
sexy
angry
combination.
teenager.
I'm an angry teenager. Oh no!
Oh no! You're 18.
I need to do a snack scene. Yeah, and I'm 18.
Yeah, you're 18.
What are you talking about?
Oopsie.
Arcane, Jesus. Come on.
Actually, I
I'm
did
the
look
one
on
who
my
said
Insta
angry
this time.
teenager.
No, yeah, I know. But he said I was 16, and I'm like, no.
Your character, how old is Cedric?
18.
Oh, okay. He's still a child.
It's hey you
To Erna.
No words.
So there are the fate points. Let's do persona points. What were you guys' goals?
My goal was to get a mini boat. That was my goal.
That
was
worked.
prepared well
That
ahead of
worked.
time. Mine was to coordinate with Cedric and Uranus to investigate the possibility of an offering to the rabbits, which we did, but in a different fashion.
True. I'd say because you pursued that and you got as far as you could with that, I'd say good job.
Okay. Is that a persona then?
Persona. Blue.
Blue's goal was to go warn Drugda about the possible betrayal / being thrown into the bilge.
You did that.
Oh, you awesome person. I love you.
You did
You're
that.
great.
You're
amazing.
She's gonna stick it out for the long haul because of you. And Brahms was to find out if Arabelle gave Quincy more responsibility out of her own goodwill, or if there was some, if it was entirely willingly. He did figure that out, so there we go. And now we have to do MVP and Workhorse, so...
Hi, Arcane. How's it going?
It's going pretty great.
Who do you think gets the MVP?
Erna.
I kind of am for Erna as well.
It's Erna.
Because you did that orator check at the final bit, and you were the one who was sort of like poking around this other business earlier.
Also, every time we have a plan, you're like, okay, here's a well thought out whole thing. Like, you have like 7 steps ahead of us, and it's like, what the hell?
The best laid plans of mice. Not necessarily men, but definitely mice.
I'd say of men right now, because the group of us are like, what the
Well,
fuck?
that's true.
We have a confrontation. Okay, let me think. You're like, nope, I have 3 steps already laid. I'm like, how? How did you do this? Sir.
But, I'd say that gets you a persona point, Erna
Yay.
Raven Rock. From there, we go to Workhorse, and I'm kind of on the fritz. I don't know who exactly to give Workhorse to, except for maybe Cedric, because he did a lot of the science stuff, and he gave a lot of helping dice.
Yeah, it's not me because Blue didn't do much this session.
Blue was very quiet this session, except made the best item in my inventory.
Yeah. And you know, Drugda is always a good.
You know what? He went to help Drugda. God damn, I want to credit him for that.
But I think in terms of roles, you probably got the workhorse, Cedric.
Okay.
But from there, we just got to go to Embodiment Awards. So all you guys, because you hopped onto that wagon, are gonna get Persona Point for all that lovely roleplay this session, because it certainly went places.
Yay!
Yo.
Got myself a healthy bank.
Yo. Yeah. How are you guys doing on the Fate and Persona Points? Are you filled up?
I'm at 7 and 6.
Dang.
No, I'm only at 3 and 5, but I'm second session.
Yeah.
That's still good. Like 5 Persona Points will get you a long way.
Because I burn them like they're candy.
But from there, let's just go ahead. Actually, yeah, for second session, Arcane, how are you feeling about the mouse guard system?
I like it. It's nice to have like these kind of interactions with the other party members. It's a fun system.
Interactions.
It's definitely one of the more freeform ones. We had some confrontation, some subtlety on the part of some teammates here, particularly Elric and Old Blue there, at the beginning and end, respectively.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. There was a sort of a setup and a I don't know if it's a resolution, but we'll have to see next time we get Quincy and Cedric together. But gracious, I think we're all set to call it an evening.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I don't have anybody with which to raid on my friends list. Do you guys want to like maybe raid someone new? Someone new? Let's see. Oh wait, is Speedy doing? Oh yeah, Speedy. Wait a second.
He's likely wrapping up.
No!
Did he wrap up?
He better not have.
He's
Okay,
likely
no,
doing
he's
it.
not. He's not. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do
Oh,
it.
he's not?
We gotta do
Okay.
it, but we gotta do it fast.
Okay, let's do it.
So speedrun. Oh, come on, faster. Ah! So guys, help me.
You're so dead set in it.
I'm ready. Help me raid my best buddy Speedy, because he deserves it. Copy and paste that /me down to the cheese, and let's give Speedy a splendid go Speedy, and all that other good stuff from the Possum Posse, if you will. And for goodness gracious, enjoy your weekend and everything else. Come back tomorrow as well, because we're jumping back on Out of the Abyss No Party Mode at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That is back into the D&D formula. We want to take a step away from the mice for now. But if you want to play, by all means, come join our Discord, and we'll be happy to include you in this fantastic community we have. In any case, I wish you a splendid evening, and I hope to see you next time on the forefront, okay? Take care, everybody. We love you.
Bye!
Good night.
Bye-bye!